Yes, big up people. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning show. As always, quite a lot to talk about. Some news items lined up to talk about, and then we'll talk about the manager hunt. It's becoming interesting. Spalletti, some I think you could say that was all. That's all speculations. But that's by the way. I hope you're all doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. It's going to be fun today, whether it's me alone or whether other panelists has the time to join me on here. It will always be fun in a Chelsea Perspective community. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. It's another Blue Morning show. What is the first thing we have here? Quite a lot lined up. Now, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to start right away. As usual, I know we don't have too many people in the chat already, but it's important I say hello to Agnes Adedoja Fawole. I know it's Namaya Fawole. You're using your mom's account, like you always say. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. This is it's Nehemiah. All Chelsea players will leave this squad to Bayern. Habat by Ziyech by Mount by Kukure by Starlin by um Aubameyang by Koulibaly by wow, that's a lot of list. A huge list you have there. Let's see what happens. Big up, coach. Big up to you too, Namaya Fowler. I think we should get into it right away. The first thing we have, I don't want us to start talking about that one now. Is this one? This shows humility. It's not easy. The first you could say to me, a lot of when you want to solve a problem, the most important thing to do first is to recognize you've made a mistake. Or when you want to correct your mistake, first you have to recognize you made the mistake. And the owners, as we're hearing, as you can see on the screen, saying, speaking at a private event at Stamford Bridge on Thursday night, Todd Bowley said mistakes had been made in his first year as co-owner of Chelsea Football Club, and that is a good thing to hear. Accepting that they made a mistake, that will go a long way, which means they realize there's a problem to solve. The biggest issue would have been if they feel like they've always been correct in all the decisions they've made, then we're headed towards a prolonged bad period. But it's a good thing they recognize they made a mistake. And he's saying Bowley did not elaborate on the mistakes during the event. That's the least of my concern. And like I said, more importantly, he said openly in an event at Stamford Bridge that yeah, mistakes were made. So that's a huge thing. Like I said, that's humility. And I want to see some interesting response there to this particular tweet by Absolute Chelsea. You see, people appreciate that so much. German Potter PR, new accounts are coming out. And this is a different thing together here. Let's see what else we have here. Um, Hiring this man won't be a mistake. Chelsea fans, good Photoshop work there. This one says they know mistakes have been made, and there's always a room for a fix. I think that's the way I see it. More importantly, they recognize they made a mistake, which means we're lucky actually, because there are some people that will always, argue, feel like that they made the right decision, that whatever went wrong weren't their fault. This one says, glad he admits now he should make it right by appointing a proper coach. And this user here says, back directors, bad mindset, bad results. Unrelated, but now this one, okay, yeah, this one said mistake of sacking Toko. The problem remains the squad. No proper center forward, not the manager. If the team finishes 50% of their big chances, Potter would have stayed. Wow, some argument there. He means Tuchel. Remember all age. Okay, let me see what else. But here's the thing: some people recognize, yes, they made a mistake, but the good thing is that they've accepted that they made a mistake, and that's a start towards the right direction. He will go a long way for us, which means they've learned. Let me just put it that way. What else do we have in the chat here? I have Chama saying, "Good morning, Kachila. Good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join in the show." And I want to take this space to appeal to those that are watching, but for one reason or the other are not able to join in the chat. We appreciate you. You watching alone does provide value to the community. But I'm appealing to you for one more favor. If you can, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way, which really appreciate that. And this is Sameko Chris SL Chelsea must not buy Felix. A lot of people are saying that now, but there's a chance there's a solid argument with regards to the fact that the team as a unit has been underperforming. And you could say it's hard to find any standout player during those periods that the team didn't do well, except for Thiago Silva. He's performed consistently. So I wouldn't, for that reason, say don't buy João Felix. There's a chance the new manager says he wants him, and believe me, there's a good player in him. Unfortunately for him, he's played for how many years? I'm not sure how long he played under Diego Simeone, a manager who prefers a very negative approach to football, and didn't really, help João Felix progress or develop more as a player. He still plays like he's a raw talent. And unfortunately, my argument is that it's because he's played too long under Diego Simeone. And now he's off the shackle. It will take time for him to start showing, those, not just the flares, the finishing ability we've seen him produce. But we'll move on from that. Let's see what else we have here. Kepa must go. A lot of players, I think, will go in the summer, but there's no telling who goes and who leaves. And I'm going to say something that I've already said before. It's not going to be easy selling some of those players we have in our ranks. The option would be either they take a pay cut to stay or they go. And going isn't easy. If they refuse to take a pay cut, then the buying club, we've seen situations where we really, the club wanted to sell wants to sell a player and end up not being able to sell the player in question because they are on a high. The player in question is on a high salary, and the buying club are not able to pay that to measure that salary. So the deal, two occasions, maybe not Hakim Ziyech. Yeah, Hakim Ziyech, when he wanted to join Ajax, his salary was an issue. Christian, I think at one point, Christian Pulisic, I don't remember, but the player salary will always be an issue. And usually these players, as long as they're still young, they usually don't accept a pay cut when joining a new club. Usually they aim to start earning even higher salary weekly. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have here? I took a short break from Chelsea news and games are too painful to watch. Yeah, you guys keep reminding me that unfortunately, no matter what happens, I'd sit here in front of you and try to present the news to you or whatever is going on. But I get where you're coming from. Like I've said before, when I wasn't a content creator, usually when Chelsea start underperforming, let's see, if I start witnessing a stretch of underwhelming performances, all I do, I delete the Fifth Time app and every other news app. That I get a lot from whenever something new happens at Chelsea. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that one. Then this one here, Mason Mount deleting his Twitter account. He says, over the years, I've thoroughly enjoyed connecting with you all on Twitter. Sadly, the platform is changing, so I have decided to delete my account. You all can still connect with me on other social media platforms. Here's the thing, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think it's something that maybe he decided to do, should I say to safeguard his mental mental wellness, or for lack of a better term, me not knowing any other way to get my point across. But I think maybe it's for his mental health. I think that's the better way to get that point across. Maybe it's whatever he's seeing there is getting to him, And unlike some other stars in the Premier League who get other people to manage their social media accounts for them, maybe he's managing his by his own by himself. And I've seen lots of those abusive you could say abusive comments, abusive tweets directed at him, and now it's getting onto him. So to he needs to leave the platform. But here's the thing: as much as it's not my business, he's for instance, I'm not sure what is masonmount.com.io. I'm gonna try find out what that is. If it's a new social media, maybe there's a chance he's paid to help promote that one. I don't know, but we move on from that one. Let's see what else we have in the chat here. This year says why are Chelsea? It's a question, Sameko, I'm guessing. Why Chelsea benching Alba? Because Alba is a good player. He played well at Barcelona for Barcelona. I don't know. Something else must have gone wrong. He must have fallen out with Graham Potter. I'm not sure. When Graham Potter was fired, he liked a post, posted. Tweet. Was it a tweet or was it an Instagram post with regards to Graham Potter firing? So that isn't a good sign. And the fact that the owners went to the extent of agreeing to pay his salary if he moves to LAFC, which he refused. I'm thinking, I'm not sure, I do not want to get into that. So I want us to speak a little bit more about the situation of Mason Mount. Let's assume that from his comment here, he's implying his comment implies that he's decided to leave Twitter because of how abusive it's become. And really, Chelsea fans can be abusive. They can go from not saying, critiquing a player to saying how badly a player have played to calling players names, even sometimes death threat and all that. You can say you want a player to leave. You can say you want the club to sell a player, but going to the extent of, calling them names like they're not humans, I don't think that's okay. I think something we ought to talk about even more. Hopefully, I'll get some panelists join me so we can talk about that. It is concerning, really. What else do we have here? Anthony Barry finally makes this, should I call it this dream move? He gets to join Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich like he wanted to, because we heard he told the club that he wants to leave. Thomas Tuchel wanted him. It became a bit messy, but they were able to control the situation. They started by asking him not to. They don't want to see him in the Copa anymore. And yeah, he's joined them. Maybe that will help the club secure the signature of Julian Nagelsmann. If Bayern Munich will agree to factor the you can say, should I call it the purchase or maybe the signing of Anthony Barry into that deal, but it's not that straightforward. It says Thomas Tuchel on Anthony Barry joining him at Bayern Munich. He's joined. He's just arrived. Finally, there's a good coach, Labs, and I am very happy. We really wanted him to have his. We really wanted to have him here with us. He has a great personality, passion, and quality. Whether it is in details or set piece situations, I've not seen such a level before. Wow, that is some praise for Anthony Barry from Thomas Tuchel. But the good thing is that he's gone. I haven't heard anything with regards to who will replace him. Maybe we're not looking for any set piece specialist. Do you think Kante will stay at Chelsea? Given what we've heard of late, the rumors that he's on the verge of signing a new contract, we've heard that 1,000 times. We started hearing that about 2-3 months ago, and it still hasn't happened. But I'm hopeful it will happen. He's a player I'd like to stay. The little he's played after recovering fully, you can see his importance, the difference he makes whenever he's on the pitch. I really want him to stay. The team already, you could say, doesn't have spine. Maybe it has spine in the defensive area, and that's when Thiago Silva is on the pitch, and when Koulibaly is on the pitch, you have leadership, you have the experienced head leading the back line. But in the midfield area and in the attacking area, we do not have leadership. And Kante brings that. He's not the most vocal, but he leads by example. So I'm hopeful he stays. There's no telling what will happen, because we've heard, like I said before, 1,000 times that he's on the verge of signing a new contract, and it hasn't happened. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that. But I know the owners, with Christopher Vivell, who understands football quite well, better than the new owners who are, you can say, they're pretty much new to football. I think he'd emphasize on the importance of keeping N'Golo Kante. He's one player, even if you can get 10 or 20 games from him, that would mean a lot, if that makes sense. Let me see what else we have here. And then this comment is from Dexter S. Mount says in his tweet, he's leaving because the platform is changing. The verification ticks were removed yesterday. Seems that that's why he's deleting Twitter. It sounds like it. Yeah, like I said. Yeah, and that's why I said we should, we should all learn as fans. That's a thin line between critiquing the player's performance or saying the player isn't good and being abusive. And in most cases, I've seen quite a lot online, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, which all again amount to an abusive comments everywhere on all over social media. So the truth remains, I think it's toxic. It's very toxic to behave that way, and it's not okay. And as you can see, it does get to the players. Whatever you say, when you become abusive, it gets to the player, especially if the player handles their social media account by themselves. So we should be careful how we talk about. Look, I've never, I don't know if you've heard me say that before. Mount isn't the best player at Chelsea. He isn't the worst either. But that doesn't mean I should start saying, you could say, making abusive comments with regards to his performance, his personality, what he does in his personal life, with his personal life. I don't think it makes sense, and that's not okay, really. We move on from that. And this one here, Eugene, big up to you, bro. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. He says, and everyone in the chat, Mason Mount, no, I'm not good. That's one of the, here's the thing. I think you could say one of such comments saying somebody's weak, maybe because they live in Twitter or so. I don't think it's okay. If you don't like that person as a footballer, if you don't think they're good enough, just say they're not good enough. Going to the extent of saying somebody is weak, I think that's abuse on its own. That's how I see it. And I don't think it's okay. Just like Jadon Sancho, no. And nationality coming into it, I don't think it's really necessary. I think Havertz must go because he hasn't helped Chelsea. I'm not going to start going into the argument what player I think stays and what player I think leaves. Because from what we're hearing, it's going to be fire sales in the summer. Lots of players will leave. Some actually exaggerated the rumors saying Chelsea will sell nearly every player, which doesn't make any sort of sense. But the fact remains, I think the aim of the Chelsea hierarchy is to trim down the squad, which in turn will help reduce the overall wage bill, and also, make it easier for whoever joins the club as the new manager, because now it's difficult to select from 30 players plus. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that one. What else do we have lined up here? Let me see. I think, is this something we've looked at before? How did I scroll very down like that? Todd Bell, yep, I think I've read that. And I did say the fact that they are accepting that they made mistake is a good thing for us, because you'd have to accept you made a mistake to take a correction course, if that makes sense. What else do we have here? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is not a priority for Barcelona anymore, but is not 100% ruled out. Cesar Azpilicueta and N'Golo Kante are no longer options for them. N'Golo Kante, we've heard, is on the verge of signing a new contract at Chelsea, but we'll be hearing that for like a million years right now, and it hasn't happened. I'm hopeful it happens. Cesar Azpilicueta, I think the club will let him move on. I'm not sure how I get it. He's a leader, probably speaks a lot in the dressing room. But beyond that, I think, he hasn't been helped on the pitch. But let's see what the club does. There's no telling what happens. What else do we have here? We have this one here. There you go, the elephant in the room. Romelu Lukaku is set to return to Chelsea after a year at Inter Milan on loan. He struggled in his first season back at Chelsea and has fallen out with the hierarchy at the time. Chelsea also have the option of buying Tammy Abraham back from Roma this summer. I don't want to get into the argument again of what sort of striker we should sign and what sort of striker we shouldn't sign. I think the whole thing comes down to who becomes the next Chelsea manager. I'm not well acquainted with the sort of attackers that Julian Nagelsmann plays with. You could say it as I'm not going to get into that. I have to take my time to look at the clubs he's coached and try to try to isolate a pattern with regards to what sort of striker he likes to play. But we'll move on from that. In the case of Lukaku coming back, I think I'm not sure how the club are going to handle it. There's a chance the new incoming manager says, you know what, I can get the best out of him. And we have the wingers and maybe sign another central midfielder. And he can also orchestrate excellent passes on the carpet and in the air. Maybe that makes a difference. But Lukaku is looking like he's coming back to us. Do I want the club to pay Tammy Abraham's buyback clause? I would say no, because it's something north of £70 million I've heard, and that's expensive. Well, it all comes down to what the club wants to do. But we move on from that particular topic to this one here. It becoming even more serious that Pochettino is being considered. This says that Chelsea have had a further talks with Mauricio Pochettino, and he has struck a chord on the third volley with the clarity of his vision for the club. At present, Pochettino and Julian Nagelsmann have made the strongest impression. I think from what we learned yesterday, and I think even 2 days ago, it emerged that the last two choices left for the owners. What we're hearing yesterday about Spalletti, I think things we heard yesterday were all rumors with regards to Spalletti being part of the managers being considered. I think it's just Mauricio Pochettino and Julian Nagelsmann at this point. And to me, I think he may well end up being Julian Nagelsmann. And I don't know how to back up that argument or whether to say it's all nonsense. I think right now what I'm doing is just to follow the situation and see how it pans out. I'll come back to talking about Mauricio Pochettino, the pros and cons of hiring him. Let's see, what else we have in the chat here? We have Kameso. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. He says, Sam Keller, because Chelsea are dumb. I'm not sure what that means, but you can elaborate. Let's see. Oh, my bro. Sorry, I missed your call yesterday. Yeah, apologies for that. I'll try and give you a call back when I get a chance. He says, my brother, did Bolly fire you from Stamford Bridge? Good question. I don't think he can fire me. I don't know how to respond to that. No, but yeah, I'm here. I've not been fired, if that makes sense. But big up to you. I hope you're doing well. And if you haven't, please click the three dots to the name of my bro, Zion of Blue Clouds Media. Go to his channel. Be sure to subscribe. Excellent content there. If you ask Kim, so he would tell he's always there. And his streams are every day. Like I told you, didn't I tell you I was going to travel to Texas? But I'm back now. And we'll be streaming every day. So yeah, we'll talk more after the show. Nagelsmann is playing hard to get. I don't think that's the case. I think they're talking with him. They've spoken with him, and there's something his girlfriend did that people are interpreting to be a sign that he will end up becoming the next Chelsea manager. But I have Taberho, my bro from the Madiba land. He's joined me on the panel, and that's like how many years now? It's been quite a while since you appeared on the panel here. So Taberho, big up to you. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I can't complain. I know you're here to prop up an Nagelsmann to Chelsea. You're probably not here to talk about anything else. But we're starting with Mauricio Pochettino. Let's start with talking. Do you think, beyond the fact that he was a Tottenham's manager, do you see anything positive if he ends up becoming the Chelsea manager? Do you think he's going to do well? Let's just hypothetically.
To be honest, from my side, his track record is very good. And then what he did with Southampton, with Spurs, you can see potential, especially with our players that we have now. Building a young team, and he's the guy who builds Spurs. So, for example, if he didn't have links with Spurs, I would take
Mm,
him. But due to that, I'm sorry. I don't want a
mm.
former Spurs coach at Chelsea. Because, but
Yeah,
not for me,
the sorry, Paul. Can you elaborate? Good, but go ahead. You were saying something.
not for me personally. For the fans that go to the stadium, it's gonna be toxic, especially if things go bad, they're gonna go again, blame the owners again. Why do you hire former Spurs coach and stuff? Our fan base are so toxic. That's the issue that I'm trying to avoid. So let's avoid hiring Pochettino to the Spurs links.
And do you believe the rumors that has been considered, or do you think it's all nonsense? It doesn't sound like it's all nonsense, because we've heard of people like what's his name talk about the possibility. I think Simon Phillips, right? And there's also Nizar Kinsella. So those people are, the fact that they've spoken about it. Do you think is the truth?
Yeah, I've been talking with someone. He said it's true, but again, his links just a phone call, just a briefing that we might have a talk face to face. But I don't think uh, the links with position is true because from the start you can see Julius Nagelsmann was always gonna be the favorite. Whether we
Mm.
are linked with some other coaches, as uh, Julius Nagelsmann is gonna be the favorite. And then I said it the time he was sacked at Bayern. I said Grandpa is gonna be under pressure because Christopher Vivell is gonna hire his man, and this is a chance for Christopher Vivell to hire the person that he trusts. So it won't make sense to hire Pochettino while Nagelsmann is there having a good relationship with Christopher Vivell. Will be a mistake with Graham Potter and with Frank Lampard.
Here's something I want to bring up now. Now, if the owners, their behavior shows they are PR merchants. That's what I call them. They are into trying to get their fans on their side. When they do things they consider, I think they've shown that they do consider what the fans think. I think they even started something a month ago or so, which gives them the opportunity to get the fan to consider the fans' opinion with regards to every decision they make. And hiring Frank Lampard highlights the fact that they're interested in in how the fans feel, because Frank Lampard was a PR appointment. They wanted to please the fans with regards to how badly things had gone with the hiring of Graham Potter. So they decided to bring in Frank Lampard, and all you see on social media then with that, you can say you will see positive vibes and all that because he's a Chelsea legend. That changes the feelings of the fans. Uh, that's showing me that makes me believe, at least I don't know, at least that's what I think in my opinion, that they will be a bit reluctant to hire Mauricio Pochettino because they don't want to they don't want the fans to, that they already, you could say, toxic relationship within the fan base. Um they don't want it to get worse. That, at least
Yeah,
that's
it's
how
like
I see it. But then also,
yeah,
if you look at what has been said, you've been asking the question: do they really know? The rivalry. Are they well acquainted with the rivalry between Spurs and Chelsea? Are they well acquainted that it's so deep that they would rather sell Luka Modric to Real Madrid for a lesser fee than sell him to Chelsea and even earn more money? It doesn't sound like they know. At least that's what I think. So, but I want to get your point. Do you think they consider what the fans think? Given it sounds like they're into trying to do stuff to appease the fans. What your thoughts?
yeah, I agree with you. If if let's say if they hire Mauricio Pochettino, then they didn't do their due diligence about uh, rivalry between Spurs and Chelsea. We don't do business with Spurs. We are not getting along. Also, coach, like I was telling this other guy, this is the scenario. Mauricio Pochettino was available the time we hired Graham Potter, right? And then Chelsea spend a lot of money to get Graham Potter. Why didn't they hire him that time? Doesn't make sense because
It
that Chelsea
doesn't.
paid a lot of money. That doesn't make sense. It's just for me. It's just a PR news. We all know that Julian Nagelsmann is the favorite. You can see it clearly. Even Fabrizio Romano always said this guy's always be the separate. It's between Chelsea and Bayern, and he's representative now. So you can see the other coach. They were linked to Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho. Ah man, come on.
Yeah, and there's something JC said yesterday. As much as it is somebody's opinion, as much as there's no way to confirm that's the case, it's just a theory. He came up with a theory that the options were Luis Enrique, Julian Nagelsmann, and that they intentionally added what's the Mauricio Pochettino to the list after that's just to push people towards saying, you know what, I'd rather Nagelsmann than Pochettino. I think it makes sense to a certain extent. That's after the news emerged that they've sidelined or maybe they've taken off Luis Enrique off the list. So that's a possibility. I usually when I hear theories like that, I do take my time to analyze it and say maybe it makes sense to a certain extent. But you go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, and again, after Grandpa was sacked, Ben Jacobs did a Twitter space. He explained to Chelsea fans, look, this is normal. Chelsea is gonna be linked with so many coaches. Some might be fake, some might be real. So you have to check and analyze the situation. Who is likely to be a coach, a Chelsea coach? Don't be reactionary and stuff. So, but our fans, it seems like they don't listen. They like to react.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I want to quickly say to Nathaniel Oposio, I haven't you haven't contacted me with regards to the $100 you won yesterday for the first stay in school giveaway, monthly giveaway. I'm still waiting to hear from you. But that's by the way, thank you so much, Taboho. It seems like you're on the road, but you decided to join your brother on the panel. And I appreciate that. That's why you're my bro. Nagelsmann is playing hardball. I don't think that's the case. But I'll come back with another question to Tabel if he's still there with us. He's waiting for Madrid or PSG. I think if that's the case, the Chelsea owners that they're smart enough to find out that he's probably playing hard balls, and they will move on from him. Or maybe the rumors, the Pochettino rumor is emerging because they're seeing that the possibility of getting Nagelsmann to become our next manager is slim. That may well be the case because the rumors linking him to Madrid, it may be serious, and that's the chance is absolute nonsense. But we move on from that. This here says, Sanko Chris says, I don't trust Pochettino because he failed to take to win trophies when he had Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria. So I do not trust him. I think he won something with PSG, didn't he? Yep. He won the league he won the league all trophy. Yep, didn't he? Title. I think he did. So here's the thing. That team, I think they have a lot of issues. And if we're being honest, the issues still persist right now. The issues it has led to some of the players leaving. The issues has led to some of the players wanting to leave. It's everywhere. Even Messi, we're hearing, is on the verge of returning to Barcelona. So it's everywhere. The fact is, if we really want to consider, if the clubs are actually considering hiring Pochettino, I think that would be the least of their concerns. They will be paying attention to what he was able to achieve with you could say with less than you can. Yeah, let me just phrase it like this: an ill-equipped Tottenham squad. He made it to the Champions League finals with them. He nearly won the league with them. I think a few finals too, one more final at least. That's not easy. And look at the squad he had, and he took him to the Champions League finals. If he had better players, I assure you he'd win it. So he's an excellent manager, and given that average age of Chelsea players right now, I think it should be around 25. But even at that, we have lots of young players, and he's known for polishing young players and making them even better. Look at how he made Dele Ali the player he was before he started losing form and all that, which people are arguing is down to his lifestyle, not really. But I think I don't even usually think about PSG whenever I think about his capabilities as a football manager. I think he's an excellent manager, but I do have an issue. The issue I have, I think you could argue he's sort of one-dimensional. His approach to the game is predictable. Always, he hardly plays the game without, it's high line. He plays his teams do play high line, which is very risky. But even at that, I think he's matured. Probably has found a way to conduct the fact to you could say to structure his team that you even get even you could say hitting them on a break is usually not that simple. But I'm still a bit concerned with regards to that. But other than that, he's an excellent manager. What he did at Southampton, the players he coached there, the Van Dijks, Sadio Mane, and all the players that clubs ended up signing, it was him that nurtured those players to get to the level they were before clubs started poaching them from Southampton. But we move on from that. That's the least of my concern. He's not my first choice. If I were to choose between him and Nagelsmann, I'd take Nagelsmann because I've studied Nagelsmann's approach very well, and I think I know enough about him to see maybe he is actually the better option of the two managers. But we're not sure what's going to happen. There's no way to tell if this is the truth or whether it's just people making the most of the situation, knowing that if they talk about it, people will suck up to it. We have here the Undertaker CFC. Always nice to see you, brother. The biggest mistake the owners will make if they make a Poch manager of Chelsea. Can you elaborate? I want to know why. I think I'd be surprised if your reason, the reasons you present, if they go beyond the fact that he was a Tottenham manager and the fact that he didn't win anything with Tottenham. But I have a counter argument for that. But that's not saying he's my first choice. I'd take Nagelsmann over him, if that makes sense. But here's something else you need to know. The news that we read yesterday clearly showed, if we were to believe that a majority, that nearly everyone at the club prefers him over Nagelsmann. But the other one says, that Christopher Vivell, who's worked with Nagelsmann before, and one of the board member prefers Nagelsmann. But I agree with Taberho. There's a chance the club, they've already made up their mind. And what comes to mind next is JC's, my bro, JC's a theory that the club may have, again, there's a chance it's just them trying to get us to support the hiring of Nagelsmann, because not every Chelsea player, every Chelsea fan wants the club to hire Nagelsmann. In fact, majority were for Luis Enrique than Nagelsmann. If that makes sense. So let's see what else we have here. We are in for a long ride with these new owners and board. I cannot I cannot trust what they will do next. For me, I've decided to follow the punch. But there's something else I want us to talk about. What I read on the screen before, and I think it only makes sense that I go back to it because it's important. Here is something to saying that the owners Todd Bowley accepting that they've made mistakes, and that's a good sign. Like I said, the fact that they realize, or let me say, the fact that they accept that they've made mistakes, which means they're learning. Unfortunately, the mistake has done quite a lot of damage. It will take time to correct that. But more importantly, they've realized they've made a mistake and probably are working to correct the mistakes. Because, half of solving a problem is realizing that a problem exists, if that makes sense. So just follow the punch. Don't expect too much. So when something happens and it's not what you expect, then you'd be okay because you're prepared for it. Sameka Chris said the owners must hire Luis Enrique, because Enrique is a good coach and he has many trophies. And yeah, some people also come with the argument that every trophy he won at Barcelona, and when he coached Roma, he won nothing. One more club, I think Celta Vigo, he won nothing with them, if that makes sense. But he won a total of 9 trophies at Barcelona, and he did beat Pep Guardiola's record at Barcelona. To me, that's a good sign. And after all, Pep didn't win anything anywhere else before. He started with Barcelona, went to Bayern, continued, and Man City continued winning. So that gives me hope. But I think we have to say Enrique isn't being considered anymore, like we learned a day ago or so. The board approached Poch. I think because of the complexity of hiring Nagelsmann, Bayern wants a compensation close to the amount they paid to Leipzig. Wow. I didn't hear anything about that. But Patrick Sango, always nice to see you. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for always joining the show. Since there's no chance of Mr. Trevor Enrique, I take Nagelsmann. Yep, he's I think my first choice was Enrique. I take Nagelsmann. Guy didn't have a bad season since he managed Hoffenheim. Knows how to win titles. Knows how to play with young players. Yep. So to me, yeah, he's my first choice. But for some reason, I'm not sure why. What's his name? Pochettino is coming to the fold. But we'll find out. And my bro, JC, always nice to see you, bro. Big up to you. Big up, Kachila. How are you? I'm doing better, even better. Watching your screen background for 2 days is giving me strange kind of. Go away, my friend. Go away, bro. Why are you having to go at me? I touch your mic, bro. But that's by the way. I will sort that out. My system is having an issue. But I'm not going to change it again because this is not even up to 6 months. So I'm not sure what's wrong with it. But that's by the way. We'll move on from that. Nagelsmann was undefeated in the Champions League. He's an excellent manager, really. I must say that. And it's tactically very unique, very what's the term I'm looking for? He has a very, you can say, very dynamic approach to the game, and always, you can say for each game, he drills his team so well that they're able to readjust to readjust their approach to the game based on the next opponent. And I've watched a lot of videos. I'm learning more about him. Plus, I've seen his games, but he's an excellent manager. The biggest question over, because in his case, is that his experience is centered around the Bundesliga. But beyond this, he's done something beyond that. He led Leipzig to the semifinals of the Champions League. To me, that is huge. That's not an easy feat. Constantine Dante, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. You boy, by the way, I didn't say hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea needs a middleman, someone who can develop the players before a top-class manager can come. I don't think they will go for a Nagelsmann. They will go for someone who's able to work with the young players and also work for a longer period. But that begs the question whether they'd make the mistake of giving a new manager like a 5-year contract again, or take the most popular approach these days, give the manager a short-term contract, not really short-term, 2-3 year contract, and by the time they're 2 years into it, then you talk about extending, depending on how well they do. I don't think they'd go for any manager and hire them to help develop the player and then let them go. No, I think they'll hire somebody with a long term. You can say with the mindset of the person staying long term at Chelsea, but they will start by offering like a 2-3 years contract to the person. But let's see what they do. And he says, Poch has finished his development as a manager and is a serial butler and struggles under pressure. Wow. Okay, that's your argument. Hello, everyone. Constantine Dante Chipchilla. That's a new name for me. But I'll take my time to consider whether I like that one. But that's, by the way, Constantine Dante. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I appreciate that. Let's say O'Neill Diaz says, I really do think the ownership is looking for the weakest candidate in terms of who they can control. I hope we get a strong coach who dictates his term. I can assure you, Nagelsmann isn't a yes man. If he was one, I don't think he'd fall out with the Bayern hierarchy. I can assure you that I think he is a strong character. He knows what he wants, and I would say that's just me trying to be objective here. Everything we've heard with Graham Potter being a yes man, I think that's all. I'm not sure. I think you could say that's all made up, and there's a chance that may well be the case. That may well have been the case, but we don't know because I think we started hearing a lot more about him being a yes man when the owners started getting closer to him. Which at that point I did see as they were doing that to just show him, look, we still support you, to see if that would give him the confidence to focus on his job and try to turn the situation around. That's how I see it. But it makes sense also to argue that he was a yes man. But like I said, if he really is a yes man, then he will never go far as a manager until he changes that. You only have to ask why Chelsea fans, the history between Chelsea and Spurs. The Chelsea fans are brought up to hate Spurs. Yeah, but if we get Kane from Spurs, you take it. If we get Son from Spurs, you take him. So that's a surprising aspect of the whole thing. I think I see Glenn put out a tweet today saying something to the effect of the owners don't care. If they really want to hire Pochettino, they would do that in a heartbeat without caring what the fans think. I hope they don't do that because it won't be easy. I think they will not. It would take a lot for them to say, okay, you know what, let's just go with it. Every time I see photograph of Pochettino with Stamford Bridge as background, I suddenly get flash memories of Hazard goal and Leicester teams jumping up in ecstasy. Yeah, I remember that. I think that performance against them on the day was just us saying you can't win this because they are one of our biggest rivals in the league and specifically London rivals. We made sure they didn't win it. But that highlights how deep the rivalry goes. But big up to you for bringing up that. Coyote Johnson, my Niger bro, thank you so much for finding the time to join us on the show. Coyote, how are you doing? What Yoruba greeting comes to mind? Ekubadu, I think it's not correct. It's not the correct thing to say. But that's, by the way, welcome. Be sure you've dropped a like on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go away. We have 27 likes, people. Come on. We should be doing better than 27 likes. How is that possible? Just give me a second. Maybe I always need to put up a poll to remind you to keep liking the stream because the likes do go a long way. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, it's already 10, 20 seconds already, and I'm still saying give me 1 sec. But I'll be right with you in a bit. All right, there you go. We have it there. I think that is correct. Let's go. Let's go with it. Let's go. Let's go. So this one here, what else do we have here? Yeah, thank you, Coyote, for joining. I appreciate that. This says, listen, bro, that's Sameko Chris. We need a coach that have style of play, yeah, an identity to play. Chelsea, to play Chelsea don't have a style. Yeah, tell me about it. It's been a while now. But here's the thing. I think what your argument makes sense. We need to establish an identity. But then again, with you get that with Nagelsmann. You get that with what's his name, Pochettino. But Pochettino is way too one-dimensional for me. I will keep researching to really get a hold of why I'm getting that thoughts in my head. But more importantly, it's always a high line. And you can say, very direct too. He's not into Pochettino isn't into keeping the ball that much. But I'll get to you. I'll get back. Eugene, big up to you. Full time. Yeah, I get what you're bringing. Why you're using that. We don't English managers and players. Porter, Sancho, Mount example. Please just stop. Yeah, stop mentioning nationality. It doesn't really matter. Mention the specific player you don't like. I'd rather you do that. The positive side of having interviews with every available manager is that Tottenham is sitting and waiting for us to proceed first for them to decide. Sorry that I'm remixing your comment there. For them to decide which one of them to go for. We're hearing that they are trying to reach Enrique, but also I'm not really sure whether to believe. I'm not sure what to believe. Whether to believe that Luis Enrique has been ruled out, or whether he's still being considered, because the reports are conflicting. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Harry Kane. Okay. I heard that Chelsea wanted to make a mistake and hire company. I think that was just rumors. I think that was just a rumor. Nothing serious about that. Have you heard much about it of late? I would say probably no. So it doesn't make any sort of sense. Let's see what we have. I wouldn't take Kane, and I don't think he would do that to Tottenham fans either. But here's the thing: he's most likely leaving Tottenham. I think the most likely destination for him will be Manchester United. But thank you for saying that. And Constantine Dante also says, I can only press like once. Oh, did you try to do it twice? I'm just kidding. But I understand what you mean. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 31 likes already. Let's try to get it to 50 as soon as possible and shoot for 100. That will go a long way. Did anyone watch the Gea and Maguire masterclass performance yesterday? At least we are not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. I saw a meme saying where the higher in a picture stretching his arms like this, saying, "You're not getting in," or something to that effect. And then somebody wrote "Key Harry Maguire." That was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that. Maguire, he's been awful, really. But for England, you can say he does well. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah. I think you have every right to say that the way, and I've told him to stop using those terms. Chelsea are out of the UEFA Champions League the coming season. We need to start developing the players we have now, such as Broya, Dacha Fofana, Mudryk, Madueke. In my opinion, we don't need a striker. It depends on who comes in. I think we're going to need a striker. Maybe that makes a difference. But here's the thing. With regards to developing players, and I want to get your opinion on that. I've had that argument with the panelists here, debate, so to speak, where I said if Frank Lampard's priority is to get his career back on track, to get his career back on track, he will most likely not the younger players in the team like Nani Madueke, Kante, Chukwuemeka, Mudryk will get a chance. But the young and Lewis Hart, I don't think those players will get many games with so much game time under him. Because losing 4 games in a row, even if he joined 15 minutes before his first game, that's not an excuse. He was in England and he's Chelsea through and through, and should have a good understanding of the squad. Or every player we have that the club has have signed during the past summer and the last 2 transfer windows. So to me, I think the priority right now would be to get his coaching career back on track, which means he'd be prioritizing the more experienced players. You'd be exceptional as a young player for him to consider you, or maybe he sees the fight in you just as the way he likes Gallagher because of that pressing in the amount of running he does. Let me say his overall industry. That's the only time I think Frank Lampard will consider fielding you. But right now, except if there's a clause on his contract that says, look, at this point, I think you should start giving the young players a chance to prepare them for next season. But I honestly, deep down, do think of Frank, his priority will be to polish his resume a bit. But I get your idea. That would have been the ideal thing to do, but I don't think he'd do that. Big up, coach. The beautiful game. Always nice to see you, brother. Big up, coach. 2017 is the last time we won the Premier League. Poch will never win the Premier League while the City and the FA agenda exists. Nagelsmann may come close, but it's not elite enough. Wow. That is some argument right there. But we'll move on from that. We'll start talking about Poch strictly in a bit. I'd say let's start. Just give me 1 second. I want to bring up this guy here. So I want to continue. Give me your thoughts. Keep bringing your thought with regards to the possibility of Pochettino becoming the next Chelsea manager, because there's a chance it happens. But we don't know. JC thinks it will never happen. If Poch is made Chelsea manager, I will never go and watch Chelsea again, and I will be the only Chelsea fan to do that. I think it's serious. I think the fans revolt, the possibility of the fans revolting, I think it's high, really. And hopefully the owners are well acquainted, or maybe they need to be educated on how deep the rivalry between Chelsea Football Club and Tottenham goes. They need to know. It will cause a lot of problems. But hopefully they're well acquainted with that. Let's see what else we have here. How can we not need a striker? Have you been watching this season? Here's the thing: if you followed me, you know quite well. My question is, what sort of striker are we looking for? It all comes down to the manager we have. For instance, if by any chance Mourinho becomes the Chelsea manager tomorrow, I would say bring him Osimhen. I would say even I would say he can get something out of Lukaku, if that makes sense. That's not my argument. Isn't that we don't need one? My argument has always been, what sort of striker do we need? That's the question I've always asked before. This says every time Chelsea has a proper striker, we challenge for titles. Under what manager? And you can say Diego Costa isn't a stereotypical striker. He isn't the sort of striker that only waits in the box for you to put in the ball, and he gets at the end of it and puts the ball in the back of the net. He sometimes drops deep and participates in the play. He has an excellent touch. He can also create chances. He's that good. So he's not just a typical striker. And we'll move on from that. Let's see what we have here. Strikers will not save us. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like Roger argued yesterday. I think we need to. The goals need to be coming from all departments on the pitch, and the defenders, the midfielders, the wingers, the wing backs. However, whatever term that you understand. I think I'm still going to say this: striker or no striker comes down to the man who becomes the next manager of Chelsea Football Club. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream if you haven't, and also do subscribe to the channel. We move on from that one and we'll go to this one here. These people are funny. They don't need one Pochettino, but they will accept Harry Kane. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of it. Please, just work. Let's stop mentioning nationality, please. I beg of you. I'm not all for what's a clinical. I agree with you. The players I don't like at Chelsea. Oh, the one player you don't like at Chelsea is Cucurella. Wow. It's a career. I see. Okay, we move on from that. Let's see what else we have there. Please, let's watch the language we use there. And Constantine, thank you for mentioning that. Let's watch how we. Yeah. You don't want to. I'll just let the mod handle that. My reason for saying we don't need a striker, if we keep checking the market for the best strikers, young talents are going to see it pointless to come to Chelsea. CFC is currently killing young players. I wouldn't say killing. In the case of Amanda Broya, he was just unlucky. The opportunities were there for him to take, and he played a few games here and there, and then got injured for the long term. And we still have Dr. Fofana. Those are two reasons enough for me to argue we don't need to go in the market to go get a striker, especially the strikers we're looking at, if we're to believe the rumors. if we're to believe the rumors, given that, for instance, Osimhen would cost something north of 100 million pounds, not just euros, because Napoli paid 80 million pounds plus for him. And Juno De Laurentiis, that's the Napoli president, he would want to sell him and make a sizable profit from the sale of the player. So it doesn't make a sense. Broja is a fine striker too, and he's not just stereotypical striker. He's quick, good on the ball, can also drift to the right or left, and still create a good chance for his striking partner or for his teammates. Nacho Fofana is also capable of doing that. So, but I'm still going to come back to telling you, it all comes down to the manager we have. But just by the way, I want to get your thoughts. Stop fighting each other. People hate. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Somebody's entitled to say they don't want Pochettino for one reason or the other, and you're entitled to say, I think you're making a mistake. Pochettino is the right man for the job. It's as simple as that. We're here to have that conversation. Just present your case and let other people present their own case. Okay, he says, I can be arrogant if some others can be, if you understand, but you don't have to. I don't like the idea to create all team immediately. We're going to regret it in the future. Be in position to bring in first targets. But I think the fact that we signed too many players, partly down to the fact that we lost a lot of players too. You could argue that. I think that's a solid argument, really. But mistakes have been made. Do I think that we've made mistakes in terms of the players we signed? I would say no. There are multitude of reasons why we've struggled. We find ourselves in such in the situations we're seeing ourselves in. Partly the players, partly the managers who's been in charge. Porter, wasn't it? Lampard, I would still say, isn't it? If that makes sense. But that's why the way we'll move on from that. Let's see what else we have here in the chat. We're still talking about Pochettino. You let us know what you think. Why? Because the talks sounds like the rumors sound like it's serious. Like the club is serious about bringing in Pochettino. Drogba was given the title unplayable. Yep. Name all the strikers that is unplayable. You could say Costa himself was unplayable. Costa was unplayable, but the two of them are players of two different. They apply themselves differently on the pitch. Diego Costa plays differently. Drogba plays differently. But yeah, Drogba was really unplayable. We really should have blown the budget on Haaland. Every other striker needs the right system and formation and manager, which was why I said the whole thing comes down to who becomes our next manager. So you ended your comment by, you could say, strengthening my argument with regards to the fact that I said the sort of striker, the profile of striker we get comes down to the manager we get. And chances are, if the next manager becomes Nagelsmann, he may well not go for your stereotypical striker. He may well decide, you know what, I'm sticking with Hazard, especially Hazard is his countryman. Pardon me, let me take a sip of my coffee before I lose my voice. Yep. But a good comment right there. But what sort of striker do we have now? Let's say we get the manager that likes to play, or you could say, with that sort of striker, like a powerful big that can bully defenders, or settle defenders. What striker do you think is available that will come on the cheap? Because the truth remains, we need to make some sales, and the priority probably will be to balance the books before going for any new signings. At least it's how I see it. But let's see what the club does in the summer. It's not far away. We're getting there. Let's see what else we have here. It says all credit to Sevilla yesterday. They were the better team. They played well. I think they could have actually scored more goal. Forget mistakes. You have to. Here's the thing. you're the one that forces you're the way. If you apply yourself properly, if you apply pressure on your opponent, you force them into making mistakes. So it was organized pressing. For instance, in the case of that, in the case of Maguire's mistake, he was pressured into making a mistake. So yeah, credit to Sevilla; they were excellent on the day. So I like them really. They played well. Lewandowski is a beast, but he's not just the typical striker. He makes dynamic runs and also can participate in play. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think yeah, but let's see what else we have in the chat here. If anything, I think he's not the type that actually unsettled defenders. His intelligence is what predominantly defines him as a striker. He's not the most powerful, really. I wouldn't call him a beast, but his and his intelligence as a footballer sets him apart. Again, the strikers we've ever seen play the football. Let's see what else Constantine says here. Benzema, yeah, he's in his case also his intelligence and his ability to drop deep and participate in the play. Then Benzema is also not just stereotypical striker. He's not your traditional number 9. He's not that number 9 that waits in the box. All they do is wait in the box and wait for you to put in a cross on the carpet or in the air and hope to get out at the end of it. He makes dynamic runs. When he doesn't see the ball, he drops deep. And his teammate takes his position, and he can find them with a good pass also, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. He is a number 9 coach. They're called strikers, but there are types of strikers. I'm not sure how to explain myself so you understand. Yes, people, we have 39 likes, and we are 1 hour, 20 minutes into the show. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. And also do subscribe to the channel. The likes to go along with. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support. And don't remember, if you're watching, or if you know him, if you know Nathaniel Okosia, tell him he was the winner of the $100 stay in school giveaway, the first ever of that giveaway yesterday. He hasn't gotten to me. Maybe he just typed stay in school and then stay for the draw. So if you can find, if you know him, tell him that he should reach out to me. I have his ID so that someone else will not try to impersonate it to pretend that he or she is Nathaniel and try to get the giveaway, the prize money. Let's see, he's a number 9. Yeah, I recognize he's a number 9. Chicky coach twisting my words. I was going to ask whether that was really you. If you don't find a way to have a go at me. Managers and strikers don't come as a package, I'm afraid. That's the truth. They don't come as a package. But the truth remains, certain managers prefer certain type of strikers. We've learned, I think Chelsea fans maybe didn't know that until we hired Thomas Tuchel. When I started arguing that he doesn't play with the traditional strikers. And that was the only issue I had with us signing Lukaku. And if you followed him from Mainz to Borussia Dortmund to PSG, even when he had Mauro Icardi and Edison Cavani, he didn't use him. He prefers using Neymar on the pitch and Mbappe and all that. So managers have, again, the most popular managers have certain type of strikers that they like to play with. But that doesn't mean there aren't managers who, whatever striker you sign for them, they'd be able to get it to work, if that makes sense. Even Graham Potter himself isn't known to play with your stereotypical type of strikers. He even said it, referenced Pep Guardiola, everything he's won at Man City without a traditional striker, which emphasizes the fact that Graham Potter himself doesn't play with traditional strikers, if that makes sense. But I get where you're coming from. Managers and strikers don't come as a package, I am afraid. We need a universal striker that works with any circumstances, which is the same thing, which is you're referencing you're saying we don't need a one-dimensional striker. We need a striker that's able to adapt no matter the situation, not just stereotypical striker. We're saying the same thing, so you're just using big words to make it sound different. Not really big words, but you're phrasing it differently. Managers and strikers don't come as a package. I'm afraid we need a universal striker. That's where I said we're saying this is something that works with any circumstance, defines exactly what I've been saying. We don't just need a traditional striker. We need a hybrid. I wouldn't call it hybrid, maybe hybrid. And let me just use the term all-round striker, if that makes sense. The kind of guy we lock in a cage until match day. And I say, give me any striker that operates like Diego Costa. I will take him. He's a thorn on the fresh of opposition defenders. He's good on the ball. He also reads the game very well. He makes dynamic runs. His runs are not static. He's also an intelligent player. That's the sort of striker I would like us to get to bring into Chelsea. I think when healthy Broya, Mudryk, and Madueke, it could be very good. They could be very good together, especially on the counter. I think the same too. Mbappe, Leao, and Nkunku are attacking 2025. Very good dream, but it's possible because Leao is free in 2024 and Mbappe in 2025. Hold on, let me ask this question. Didn't Leao sign a new contract? Or am I mixing things up? I think he's already signed a new contract. Yeah. You maybe you need to check that, honestly. We don't need Broya, Havertz, Madueke. We need Rafael Leao up front in the middle. He will adapt. Let's see what the new manager wants, because I think the new manager, like we've heard, will assess the squad, decide whether there are changes are needed to get the squad to be equipped to be able to implement it, to enable him to implement his preferred approach to football, if that makes sense. So strikers are not strikers. No. There are types of strikers. Stop fighting with me, man. Strikers there are types of strikers. There are what we call traditional strikers. There are hybrid strikers, or you could call them all-round strikers who are capable of not just, even traditionally they hate to go wait for the ball. Sometimes they come for it. I'm not sure how it's Camavinga is not left back, but he is, he's playing left back for Madrid. But people don't understand football. They stick players with one position like player is not human. I'm saying forwards from now on. Forwards depends on the structure. Then by default, you call whoever is there forwards. Like for instance, in the 4-3-3, the three up front, you can call them forwards. It depends on the approach, on the application, really. Is there still traditional strikers in today's game? There are. A few players still play like that. Osimhen applies himself as a traditional striker. I think there are a few, but I can't quite start thinking. Lukaku is one, for sure, but I'm not sure how I can quite put my fingers on all of them right now. But there are a few of them. You could say it's a dying breed. After watching Roma yesterday, I must say I miss these epic wins under Jose Mourinho. Todd Bowley, please bring back Jose Mourinho. At least a season or two. Coach, help me advocate for Jose to come back. I'm going to say this. I know we'll start winning, but one thing is sure. The only problem I've had with Jose Mourinho that I would say he's not been the most. He's not progressive enough for me. But he still his thing is find a way to win. It doesn't matter how, and it doesn't have to be pretty. And believe me, Chelsea fans will most likely get tired, get tired quickly like this and then turn on him. Because most Chelsea fans, you can argue, at one point, even though they liked him, they didn't like the fact that when we play the big teams, would sit back and try to hit them on a break to get goals. If that makes sense. And my bro again, the blue Tiffany game says, none of these strikers are Drogba level. No, none of them. Drogba is very unique. There will never be another Drogba. And if we can start comparing them, if we start comparing him with Diego Costa, we can start going we'll go into how they differ. And believe me, I can do that. But not right now. I will give you all a clue. Drogba, Costa, and Haaland are the beasts. Give me that. I'll take them. The three of them are the beasts, really. And that's the truth. Everyone else is a tier below. Yep, that's the truth. Let's see what else we have. Isn't Nkunku a hybrid? You can use the term forward for Nkunku. I think he is, but he says he prefers playing as a 10 rather than a striker. Yeah, Leao didn't sign anything. Really? That rumor? Okay, Mbappe is only going to Real Madrid, and they're probably going to get him on a free because he's bent on joining them. Giroud signed new contract. Don't know. That of Leao was last week, and I'm going to research it in a bit. Just give me last thoughts on Poch versus Julian. I would take Poch only if he takes Ken with brings Kane with him. Yeah, good luck. But you are allowed to dream anyway. Harry Kane plays wherever he wants. Yeah, his thing, he can actually play as a 10. But he's tried, again, to get the best out of him, start him as a striker. But he has a tendency to drop deep. If again, he doesn't have to see him dropping deep isn't really because he's looking for the ball. That's the way he applies himself whenever he's on the pitch. Drops deep, creates chances for his teammate or whoever. And he's a fine passer too. He's a fine passer, a good passer of the ball. Coach, the reason why there's fighting in the comment is because you keep saying the name Pochettino, bro. Oh my goodness! Stop! Stop trying to. No, we're talking about it. I never said I want him. My preference for the two of them is what's his name, Nagelsmann. We're just having a conversation here, and we started by saying why it will actually be a mistake for the owners to hire him.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, there will literally be a revolt. But thank you for that. And Kunku can play almost everywhere. Yeah, he's a fine player. Rando Kolomoani, it's a universal striker, can link up. Moani is good. I like him, but I want to learn more about him. I don't know him that much. Walking tight spaces and then finishes very well. I know some people are questioning his finishing, but how old is he? Isn't he still in his early 20s? So he's still very young. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know him that much. People should stop looking at the past and focus on the future. And I'm really concerned. As much as I know it will be a problem to hire Pochettino, the owners, if they decide he's the right man for the job, they will hire him and feel like if he starts doing well, everybody will get behind him. And I think that's the case. Hendrik will cook some Mbappe to Real Madrid. It's not clear. But if they get him on a free, I think he may well join them. The fighting today is nothing in comparison to the fighting in the stands when Poch concedes his fourth goal. Okay, thank you for saying that. Why are we interested in Victor Roque? I don't know. Another overhyped talent. Real beat us again for Hendrik. So Real will cook again next 10 years. Okay, let's see what happens. Coach trying to push his Poch agenda. No, I'm not pushing Poch agenda. I present content telling you, look at the downsides to this happen. Look at the upside to this happen. I have a panelist here. My bro Roger is on the panel, and I want to get his thoughts with every other thing we've talked about. Stop Tottenham blasphemy, coach. Wow. Do you see what that's? It's your fault. The beautiful game. You've turned them against me. You've really turned them against me, and I'm not joking. If I was a striker doing well elsewhere, I wouldn't consider Chelsea at the moment until you're sure. That's a good argument. What sort of manager that they getting? Are they going to get a manager that's known to work with traditional striker? That is, if you are a traditional striker, and all that. I think it makes sense. I like that argument. That's a delicious argument. Comment, by the way, not because of the horrible season they're having, but how fans. Oh, okay, that's how fans tear into players. Chelsea fans. I agree with you. I don't believe Roque is ever had. Yep, I don't believe that either, coach. Just look at the photo you have. Put up Pochettino is standing first up front in blue. You are teasing, and this is making us nervous. Oh, I love JC. Oh my goodness. If I'm a striker, I would love to go to Chelsea to play alongside Reece James, Chilwell, Enzo, and Nkunku. Maybe that's the argument you want to hear. Roger, let me bring you up to par to where I am right now. We that's how we operate here because I started alone. But that's, by the way, I started with this here, which to me, I say it's a good thing. The fact that they realize that they made a mistake, I think it's a step towards the right direction. The fact he said, speaking at a private event at Stamford Bridge on Thursday night, Todd Boehly said mistakes had been made in his first year as co-owner of Chelsea. Forget about the part that says he did not elaborate. That's the least of my concerns. The more important aspect of the whole thing is that, yeah, we made a mistake. That's humility for a billionaire to come out and say that he doesn't really have to. He could have just behind the scenes be working to correct whatever mistake is accepted he made. But he said this. Your thoughts on that?
Hello, Coach. How are you, sir?
Hello to you too. Pardon my bad manners. Apologies.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. Listen, to say anything other than that would be disingenuous. Let's be honest. Of course, he's made mistakes. He's human, you know.
But he doesn't have to come out and say, "Yeah, no, I made a mistake."
No, that's a good sign of humility. I totally concur. It's nice to hear that. Actually, it's refreshing. To me, it doesn't sound like weakness. To me, it sounds like a person that is relatable. And you're right. These chaps are high net worth individuals, you know, and with that normally comes a huge ego. And so for
you can say arrogance in some cases, really.
Yeah, perhaps depends. But I would say a person cut from that cloth and with his socioeconomic status, for a person to say that, that's refreshing to hear. Depends what context, depends what tone he's using it. We don't know. But I have no problem him. So I actually welcome that. I welcome someone saying that, you know, I could have done better. I've made mistakes, and that tells me that he's willing to learn from those mistakes. Admitting it is half the problem. So I think that's great.
Yeah, if you don't recognize you have a problem,
yes,
you don't start working to solve it. Yeah, so that's a huge. Again, like I said, it's a good step towards the right direction, and you can see the fact that they've learned from the fact that they're not in a rush to hire a new manager. What does that tell you? They learned a huge lesson, and I think another lesson they must have learned is right now is the fact. What's that? What's Ken? I just lost. Oh, I just went blank. I don't think they give another manager a 5-year contract.
Yeah, well, perhaps. I think they had an issue with Tuchel, and they were somewhat besotted, shall we say, with my former client, and they didn't do their due diligence and interview other players. They basically fell for the next, but they were basically on the rebound, and they slept with the next person available. That's what basically we can assume. So now they're not going to make the same mistake. Once bitten, twice shy. And it looks like they're doing very much the due diligence. But don't forget, it isn't. They didn't have Winstanley. They didn't have Stewart. They didn't have Vivell in place then. They just had themselves. So now the sporting and technical directors are performing their jobs that they were hired to do. These are the people that will interview, that will suggest, and then recommend to the board, this is Coach A. I believe that this is the person that is right for the job. We strongly recommend you hire him. And that's what will transpire. Boehly, as opposed to Boehly or Egbali, whomever initially hired Potter, they didn't have those executives to ask the pertinent and technical questions that were relevant with football. So they were a fish out of water. And for them to say anything otherwise, as I said, it's disingenuous, isn't it? So that's good that they realize that, you know what, they can see that the people that they've hired, the aforementioned, that they're looking at the process with which they've undertook, and they are seeing that, oh, this is how it should have been done. They're doing their due diligence. I think that's what he's alluding to. I assume anyway. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, that's great, coach. That's what you
It's a
want
good
to
thing,
hear.
yeah. Like I said, I think the first time again, it's a popular saying, but the first person that told me that was my dad. Who said, yeah, you have to figure out you have a problem first, then yeah, you're good to go if you accept you have
Yeah,
a problem. I'm gonna
exactly.
catch up with this. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up with the chat. I'll come back. I'll bring in IBZ, my bro. I appreciate you, bro. At least
Can
if
I
he
just
has time, he's
can, may
usually
I,
busy. Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
yeah, can I just say something about you were talking about strikers very briefly? Like you were saying about the prototypical striker. You know, if you have a look at Drogba, he played 8 times in Wembley Cup finals. He scored 8 times. You know, this is a person that is truly clinical. To me, we need someone that, you're right, that is a hybrid, but is clinical. This is the key word. A number 9 is someone that, whether you're back to goal or you are able to link up, however you want to term it, you know, you want someone like a Lewandowski. To me, the last 5 to 7 years, I think he's been the best striker in the world. Kane is very much in the cut from the same mold as him. They're very similar in their styles, but someone
Predominantly the intelligence, the footballing intelligence is what defines,
and their technical ability. They can
and the
cross the
technical
ball.
too, yeah.
That they can score all kinds of goals aerially, left foot, right foot. That they know where the goal is. They don't have to look up. They know it's innate to them. You know, and this is the type of person like 11. And I look at Broya and I'm thinking this chap could very well grow into that.
Yeah, he has the technical ability, and he could be different in his own way, given that he has pace. Datro Fofana, the same thing.
Yes.
Because if you check Datro Fofana's molding numbers, I think he has, was it 20 assists, and he's a striker.
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, and completed dribble attempts and all that.
So
Go
can I
ahead.
just say one other thing? And I want to ask you a question, if I may. It's the Atalanta striker. I'm not sure whether I'm thinking of the right person. This Rasmus Højlund or something. He's Danish. I saw clips of him a couple of months ago, and he looks like he's cut from the same cloth as Erling Haaland. You know, he's like big, strong, fast. He's a beast of a man. Is this the chap? If you know Atalanta, is this the same guy, Rasmus? Are you familiar with him?
No, not that much.
Okay, sorry, coach.
No problem. That's good. Let me get what we have in the chat. Maybe I need to look up, or maybe I wasn't paying attention properly, but I don't think I have heard the name.
Really?
Let's say,
okay.
Coach, I cannot wait to see your face when Pochettino brings Dele Alli instead of Kane.
Oh my God, that's checkmate right there. That's great.
Oh my goodness. Let's see this one here. This says chances are this just have been they just have to take him. Is that what you're saying there? Keshawn, the New York guy, big up to you, brother. Andrew, his special talent. Let's stop flipping between topics. It can be exhausting. But because I like you, bro, I will compare him with Vitor Roque. Potential that's the difference. Okay, you go ahead. I think you were talking to someone else. I don't think we are signing a world-class striker next year until we qualify for the Champions League and improve. A lot is going to be tough. First of all, like I said, we will sell a lot of players, and yeah, the priority to me, I think maybe half of our priority will be to balance the books. I don't think we'll be signing any striker something close to 100 million plus. Brazilian players, okay, you go ahead, slug it out with him there. You're having a conversation there. Let's see what else we have. Don't forget, okay, with Pies, yeah, that's his name. Let me see what else we have here. The Bluetooth game says, Coach, I think it would be best if we join the panel today. So save the Chelsea perspective. Then you can look in my face and tell me you really are that in love with Poch. Are you still taking the Mets? I'm not in love with Poch. I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. My preference is Nagelsmann. I've said that before. Since Enrique has been, we've been told that Enrique is no longer being considered. When they let go everyone, okay, Marina, etc., then they basically become reliant on advice of people like Mendes, and when things don't work, they basically don't know whom to trust. I think, but really believe Mendes will mislead them. Maybe you never know, because his pocketbooks would be his priority. Why should you mention Poch? Are you trying to increase our problem? Look at do you see what the beautiful game started? we just have to talk about him. Good. They admitted they made a mistake. Hiring Potter and Lampard, all Roger clients. We move. More work for Roger. Benzema play basketball. Let's see what JC says there. This is what happens when you consciously encircle yourself with yes man, saying trust the process. Since funny now, because I don't think they themselves knew that knew what was the process. I think they don't. The way they cut it short, not even saying, okay, let's leave him to the end of the season, showed at one point they were like, what is going on here? Better Zidane or Nagelsmann, much better. Pochettino is lacking because Tottenham failed. Okay, I'm going to stop there and trying to catch up. Ask Roger a question I wanted to ask him. Roger, I want you to present the argument as to why Pochettino will never, ever become Chelsea manager, if you believe that's the case. But I'm seeing some people, for instance, I just got a notification now saying, what's his name? A notification saying football therapy, putting up a video. His question is, will Pochettino bring us Kane? Because the rumors are that Chelsea have advanced talks with Pochettino. But I want you to present the argument. Why do you think it will never happen?
I think being a Tottenham fan will enter to a small part of the equation. But I don't think it will be deciding factor. I think if they don't hire him, it will be because they believe that the project going forward would be better suited to Nagelsmann, for instance, because he already has a history with, I think, Vivell and Winstanley, or is it Stewart? Stewart, I believe.
Adam Kunku to it.
Yes, that too, of course. That's right, yes. So I think it'll be not the fact that he won't get the job. It will be based on the fact that he's not losing the job. Someone else is gaining it, per se, with stronger credentials, perhaps. Even though I believe, based on his resume, regardless of where he's coached before, what he did at Southampton, more specifically, and at Tottenham, I thought is actually, I don't want him as our coach, but I'm just saying, objectively, that I think his resume speaks for itself, that I think he can be a success at Chelsea. Would I want him to be Chelsea coach? No, but if he is, I think he's well equipped, and I think he has the tools to be successful based on what he's done. True, it's a step up from Southampton, of course, and it's a small step up from Tottenham, because of the expectations here are so much more. But I believe the reasons why we won't get him is because the other candidates are stronger.
You think that's just the reason? You don't think the owners will consider the fact? Let me read what we have on the screen here, which says the rivalry between Chelsea, and by the way, and I feel very proud of myself. That's my tweet anyway. And the rivalry between Chelsea and Tottenham runs deep. As such, I believe the Chelsea hierarchy wouldn't risk upsetting the Stamford Bridge faithful any further by appointing Mauricio Pochettino, given his ties with Tottenham. You don't think they would consider that aspect at all? Because you could sense people are already fighting in the chat here. And if you go on Twitter, you could hear that some people don't even want to know the fact that he overachieved at Tottenham. Nobody looks at that. They just don't want him at Chelsea.
And at Southampton.
Yeah.
He had such a small, limited budget, and he was losing players. And we're talking, I think at one point, there was like 7 players they lost to starting players. A lot of them to Liverpool, like Mane, etc. No, listen, he's always overachieved in the Premier League, based on the fact that the owners of the club that he's coached that they weren't willing to splash the cash. They didn't have it. So, as I said, is that a deciding factor? No, it's not a deciding factor. Is it a factor? Perhaps. But listen, you're hiring someone based on the qualifications. If they are absolutely 100% unequivocally sure, adamant that this person is going to take us to the promised land, regardless of his background, they will take him.
So you're sure they don't care that much? The fact that here again his work as that he was Tottenham manager won't be considered.
I didn't say that. I said it will come into consideration, but it won't be the deciding factor.
But whether he's a good fit or not trumps that aspect of the whole.
Of course. Qualifications. Yes.
Qualification. Yeah.
Because listen, what is their bottom line, coach? Their bottom line is to create a winning product on the field. Correct. And if they believe that he is part of that equation that will ultimately succeed, regardless of him being a Tottenham coach previously, they will hire him. They're looking at it as a business sense. Does that make sense? Ultimately,
what works? No sentiments. Where you worked before doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, there are exceptions to that, but in this case, this doesn't come into that equation, I believe.
Let's look at what JC has on the screen here. I want to know what you make of it. He says, I clearly see merit in what Jacole is saying.
No. Let me push back on that. No.
Hello, IBZ.
Go ahead.
Well, a whole load of cobblers.
I didn't even know you were still there.
I've been there since, and I've just been.
You go ahead.
There's a whole load of cobblers. Whole load of cobblers. The fact
with all due respect.
With all bloody respect, whole load of cobblers. You're telling me the owners are going to garner to appease the fans because he's not even a legend at Spurs number one. He didn't win anything at the Spurs. There's no relate. He got sacked at Spurs, so that's just a job. It's just a job. It's a managerial job. It's not. What we're saying here, if he fits the bill, he'll fit the bill. And Chelsea's fans' priority, he used to manage Spurs, it will be bottom of, won't even be on the list of consideration. With all due respect, if it ruffles your feathers, go and cry in a pillow. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Respectfully, by the way. But the idea that the ownership is going to say, you know what, we're not going to sign him because he used to manage Spurs and we want to make sure that the crowd keep him on side. There's a whole load of cobblers. He will be based on his merits. If he fits the bill, if he presents the ideology for qualifications, this guy's a UEFA Pro license, for God's sake. Does any of us have a UEFA Pro license, for God's sake? What are we saying here? It would be based on his merits, not based on the. Mourinho went to Spurs. They opened him with open arms.
And Man United.
He went to. What are we saying here? What are we saying? Oh yeah, he's managed Spurs. I don't want him. What kind of entitlement did you come with? You're just a customer. Sorry, not obviously this is a personal dig at anyone there, but just the narrative to brew that. Pochettino used to manage at Spurs. So what if he comes and wins his first silverware with Chelsea? What, it don't count? No, it's just an old.
If he's qualified,
If
the directors really believe that this chap is qualified,
whole load of cobblers. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's managed. That is not even a part of the consideration. He's been at other jobs since he's left Spurs. He went to PSG, and he's been at PSG. He's jobless. If he fits, he's a free agent. He has the managerial qualities to manage at the top tier of European football. He will go in for an interview. With youth, whatever. He has the capacity to manage at this level, be it anywhere. He has the capacity, right? So he will go into the interview. If he presents the philosophy well and it's in line with what the owners want and what the recruitment team want, we're good to go. There is no problem there. And I don't think you being an ex-Tottenham manager gives 1% of energy into that thought process. Respectfully, not even what
the only exceptions that will come into consideration would be like Zidane interviewing for Barcelona. That would never happen because of the rivalry, things like that. You know,
But I know that.
No, Roger. If you're saying that, then this one matters too. If you're saying Zidane interviewing for Barcelona matters, then
you say
what's his name?
hypothetically.
Then okay, then
Yeah.
you will have to. Then we'll have to squeeze it. We have to squeeze it even more. The rivalry between Barcelona and Real Madrid, respectfully,
huge.
cannot equate to the rivalry of Chelsea and Tottenham
Yeah,
Hotspur.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
IBC, how do they differ?
It differs a lot. This is
In
politically.
what sense? It's a rivalry.
It's a rivalry, but in terms of the scale of rivalry, Celtic versus Rangers does not equate to Chelsea versus Tottenham, because we do not just have beef with Tottenham, we have beef with Arsenal.
Can I say that? Can I say this quickly? Without due respect, IBC, I disagree with you on that one. Rivalry is rivalry.
No. Yeah, there is levels to rivalry. There's fierce rivalry. There's
we're talking about the rivalry. Level, the high level.
There's levels to rivalry. Our rivalry with Tottenham cannot equate to Celtic versus Rangers. It cannot equate to some may argue to differ, Manchester United versus Liverpool. You see, these rivalries cannot equate. Real Madrid versus Barcelona cannot equate to Chelsea versus Tottenham. I love Chelsea.
Are you seeing it from the perspective of the sizes of the clubs?
I'm the history of the club, the sizes of the club, and what they have put together, the battle of what they have tried to win and attain. Hell, we only started the rivalry between Manchester United and Arsenal to a degree holds more weight, to a degree. And that's just based off a competitor. But I cannot equate to say that Zidane going to Barcelona is the same as Pochettino. He was sacked, and yes, at the same time he could manage Barcelona.
Was he sacked or did he leave? Was it mutual?
He was sacked. He was sacked. He sacked, and he wrote a note for the Tottenham fans.
Pochettino was sacked.
I can't recall. That's why I asked.
He wrote a note for the. He wrote a note for the Tottenham squad and said,
IBC, let me ask you, who is Chelsea's biggest rivalry, in your opinion?
Pardon?
Who is Chelsea's biggest rivalry, in your opinion?
Well, you could argue, you will argue Fulham. People will argue Fulham, like locally, innit? If locally, innit?
It's a big
in my
game.
opinion, in my opinion, it will be between Arsenal and Arsenal. It will be Arsenal. I believe in recent, in terms of just the pride of
more than United or Liverpool.
Yeah, we ain't. That's competitive. That only came, in my opinion, recently, competitively, when we were challenging for the title in 2005, and we're rocking their feathers,
20 years,
knocking on the Champions League with Liverpool, stomping up on their ground, and knowing what it is to harbour a Champions League experience. They done us over, we done them over. We built that competitive rivalry. The ball across the line, did it cross the line? Did it not? We built that. The rivalry of Arsenal, knocking Arsenal off their perch, becoming the top dogs in London. That creates its own rivalry. Who are Chelsea to come and take off our perch? Yeah, we are the new dogs in town. We're going to take you off your perch. That creates its own rivalry, and it brewed. And it did create massive intensity, and we've seen it till this day. We do not want to see an Arsenal. We don't want to see an Arsenal trophy be lifted. Bless you, coach. We don't want to see an Arsenal trophy be lifted this season. We do not want to see that, based on the fact that we cannot, we can't stomach it. But hell, Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, yeah, they're London, but mate, they're more rivals. They have more beef with Arsenal than they do with us. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? It's within the London belt. Yeah, there's a few clubs that obviously will compete with to be the pride of London. Yes, locally, West Ham. We got to turn up against West Ham. You've got to turn up against the London rivals. So you have that pride of London. You be the top dog in London. Obviously, this year we ain't had that. Tottenham's done us over. Arsenal's done us over. Hell, West Ham's given us a fight. But, we move, innit? But historically, we will know that Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea, it doesn't really hold that much weight to say, because a manager managed at Spurs and was sacked. And he's not even British. He does not have any weight to be at Chelsea. I don't see that. I don't see that. So respectfully,
my first game I ever attended at the Bridge was in the second division. It was versus Fulham, and it was intense.
Yeah, say that again.
The first game I ever attended at the Bridge was in the second division. Like the Championship is called now.
2006.
And it was versus this was in the 70s. Okay. Yeah, and it was versus Fulham, and it was brutal. It was
Yeah.
brutal.
It is brutal. It is brutal. I went to Fulham versus Chelsea at Craven Cottage.
Ooh.
Yeah, meaningful school
That's
friends.
an intimate ground.
We lost 1-0. The pitch was horrible. Luis Bourmonte goal. We lost that game. It was torrid. And the rivalry is there, but that's locally. But you can't equate a Chelsea Fulham match to, I don't know, Celtic versus Rangers. Hell,
Yeah, no, of course
fans
not.
can't.
All right.
Away fans can't. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
respectfully, I think Pochettino, if he fits the bill, he fits the bill. Me personally, I don't care who we get in. At this point, we need someone now.
And here's the thing: as seriously as the whole thing is getting, if he fits the bill, if they feel like he's their man, I think they will get him. They don't. I don't think they care much what the fans think.
We had Benitez. We had Rafael Benitez come from Real Madrid or wherever he went, into Milan or where did he go? To Chelsea. Come to Chelsea. The hell, I saw banners. At the end of the season, it was thank you, Rafa, I saw. Thank you, Rafa, I saw. Do you know what I mean? It happens. This is managers. Obviously, footballers are different to the managers. You know, it's a kind of different. So the level of loyalty that you will expect is not something you should hold in comparison. You know, it's a bit different. So I just think,
I would
said, Poch is coming, man.
I
If
would
he
really
fits the bill.
I would really wish for us to hire a manager before the season ends and have him at least coach the last 3 or 4 games. It probably won't happen. I know that. But I think that would be so beneficial for him to actually have that time with the squad and see them. This is basically a preseason, an elongated preseason for him. And that would do very much. He would be able to gain and garner so much knowledge and acquaintance with all the squad. I think that will be so good, but I don't think that's going to transpire, sadly.
Well,
all right, let me see what we have there. This is JC says, I clearly see a merit in what Jacol is saying. Instead of encircling themselves with people with personal interests, it is definitely better to have at least someone from CFC Museum. Let's see what they do, but I get the point there. Vatubami and Pulisic, Starling Gallagher. No, look, please, let's keep the comment of the topics aligned, please. I don't want to be going from one topic to the other. It can, energy draining. Pick up Rodrigo. Welcome. That's not Rodrigo. To see you. We need 6 more panelists only to cover that screen so that Pochettino face is completely hidden. Unfortunately, if you're following the story, the rumors are that actually talks have advanced with Pochettino, but I'm not sure what to believe. I don't make anything out of it. My first choice, given that we've been told that Luis Enrique is no longer in the running for the Chelsea managerial role, it is just Luis Enrique. It is just Pochettino and Nagelsmann, and they're now saying that talks have advanced. I'm not sure whether to believe that or not. But big up this here says, smash the like button, people. Yep. Despite coach's behavior. Yeah, if you haven't, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We're at 59 likes. Let's get it to 60 and up and try to get to 100 before the show ends. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. Lampard is indeed good, but as a player. But to become a coach, he must follow Arteta's examples. Okay, let's see if he does that. He's not here for the long run, so not staying long. He stays to the end of the season, and that's it. So I don't think he'd go to the extent of trying to do what Arteta did. If you get my argument there. Let's see what we have, Coach. Take Pochettino off the screen. I cannot because we're talking about him, but I get where you're coming from. Kane is good, but it's a shame he cannot leave the title until he's old. Which is one of the reasons why he may well leave Tottenham. If you're from Argentina, you're not good. If you're coming from Spurs, but if you are English like Kanye, like Kane, then you are welcome to Chelsea. Chelsea fan base. My gosh, the only way Kane comes to Chelsea is if Daniel Levy buys Chelsea. Wow, some comment right there. Sorry, Coach, I had to time out Eugene. It's not learning. Here's the thing: you're a mod. Do anything you feel like is right. It's as simple as that. Why should our owners rule Luis Enrique out? The rumors are that he made some demands and they were not comfortable with that. They decided but I can't believe that again. Here's something something I usually say to our followers during every transfer window is what things you hear out there, dump them into a single bucket and tag them rumors or speculations. Take your time, dissect whatever you read, put two and two together, and then you come to a sensible conclusion. Even at that, don't hold your breath. Let me just put it that way. There's no telling what's the truth and what's not. We only see things on the surface level. But Tottenham always appointed ex-Chelsea coaches if they feel he's the best, get him. Nationalities do not matter. Everyone is born equal, and it stays that way until the moment when few decides to follow Tottenham. Okay, let's see what we have here. Apparently, Barca move players to create space for Messi. Would you consider Rafinha or Ansu Fati? Not Rafinha for me. I don't think it's good enough, really. At least that's my opinion. Coach, I always knew you were dodgy. Are you Eugene's cousin? Dodgy in what sense? Being objective, presenting the case so that we can talk about it. We're talking about it because it's out there. You can't just sweep it under the rug because you don't want us to talk about it, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? You've turned everybody in the chat against me, though. I have to say that. Let's see what we have here. He managed to lose the league with PSG. Did he? What did he win at PSG? What was it that he won at PSG? I don't recall, but he won something. PSG sacked everyone. That's fine. But all those sacked just walked to the French league title. Pochettino managed to bottle even that. What did he win at Paris Saint-Germain? He won something, but I'm not sure what it was that he won.
Let me
find out here.
I think in his second season. I think
he
missed
didn't win
out
anything in the second season, right?
Was it the second season he did, but still got the sack? He didn't win anything in his first, or was it vice versa? Please remind me.
Yeah, I want clarity. What did he win at PSG? Let me find out here. Yeah, he won Ligue 1, and the other one called Coupe de France. So he won 2 trophies there. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this quickly. I'm not pushing Pochettino's agenda. I'm not pushing Pochettino. We're just here to discuss it and come to a sensible conclusion. And my question was that question I asked Regis was that
the right manager. We should just push. We should push that the board appoint the right gaffer, the right one that's going to take this.
Not really forward. Push. Hope they appoint the right person.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't think our opinion matters really. I don't think that
we have a clue. Look, last week, everyone's saying they want Enrique. Now, you can't say you want Enrique now, can you? Because it's out of your hands.
Which was why
and Nagelsmann. So now,
which was why JC talked about again. He presented the theory that they intentionally linking us with Pochettino, so that the fans will now say, you know what, we want Nagelsmann. We will go out. It's believable, but I like usually dissecting theories, but to me, there's no telling what's really going on out there. So he won 2 trophies at PSG. Pochettino had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. Having those people doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter that much, really. What have they won overall, even under their best managers? Have they been able to lift the Champions League? They haven't. Your beloved
Thomas Tuchel did nothing at PSG. He got sacked. He came in and won Champions League. Now he's the second coming next to Jesus Christ. I mean, no one can win at PSG, can they? Just give him a chance. I don't think PSG is the be-all and end-all of your career. I mean, if you don't get it right with Mbappe, you can never get it right with anyone. I think that's just a little bit of because those egos are just too magnificent to even fathom. Anyone can get it wrong there or even fail. Mm-hmm. And PSG, they will sack man just by the snip of their fingers if you don't like the sight of it. You can win the league, but if you come out of Champions League, you're done out here. So it's just what it is over there.
Big curse.
Yeah. Yeah, he says it's in our DNA to laugh at Tottenham plight. Why do you want to take our fun away? Jesse, I'm quite sure you know I'm not Todd Bowley. I know that right way, but I here's the thing. I get it. We're here to have the conversation, and the question I asked Roger: present an argument as to why you think he will never become Chelsea manager. And Roger presented something that's very sensible, really, which logically makes sense. They really don't care much about that. What they care, who's the right fit. If they feel like he's the man that's going to take them to the promised land, they will get him. And I think they do so with the belief that fans will get behind him if he starts winning. But even though I strongly believe with this, if you see this tweet here saying the owners, I don't think they will risk upsetting the Stamford Bridge faithful, given the fact they've shown they do pay attention to what the fans are saying. For instance, hiring Frank Lampard was a PR appointment because they wanted to make the fans happy to a certain measure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look how
so which means
out.
maybe there's a chance they look at it and say, this is a risk. We don't want to do it.
Laughable.
Yeah. So we don't know, but we're just trying to make sense of the whole thing. What would you think, Harry Kane, if the rivalry means that much to you? Real Madrid have more fans because of Franco. Okay. Spurs aren't our rivals. We don't compete for the same trophies. The Audi Cup is it's not a trophy. Okay, thank you so much for saying that. Even Leeds was a major rival in the 70s and 80s. I think it changes depends on era. It changes depending on eras. Okay, I agree with you there. Coach, see what has happened to your channel. My colleagues are asking to switch to radio stations because we're talking about Pochettino. Just stop, please. Okay, looks like it's time. I scroll to the very bottom so that we come back to the channel to maybe switch a topic here. What else do we have here? Oladi Pupo, I haven't said hello to you today. I don't see Pochettino doing our job with passion. In as much as I'm not comfortable with Nagelsmann's age, I will still take him over Pochettino. Wow. That's some comment right there. Luis Enrique is better for me, but the rumors are that he's not in the running anymore. Michael Obinka, nice to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. He will be the man to fix Chelsea. Okay. I think it's pretty clear that Nagelsmann is coming here unless Pep leaves or Zidane wants the job. If they really want Zidane, you'd hear that they've held talks with him by now. I don't think they're considering Zidane. There are lots of factors to consider. He doesn't speak English, and that's very important. If Bali and Co. want to really want fans against them, they won't get. They won't get Poch. They cannot be that ignorant. Okay, let's see what happens. Any coach that will manage Chelsea need to look at the players before.
We need to digest that.
I'm coming in a bit. Need to look at the players before thinking of selling any player, so to avoid mistakes. And the owners should let the coach do his job. What we've been told is that the new owners, the new manager, will assess the squad and decide whether he wants certain players sold. But definitely, a lot of players will be sold. But the new manager will be the one to say, okay, you know what? I don't think I think this person is a surplus to requirement, but I want this person to stay or the other person to stand that. Go ahead, IBC. You say you want to digest that. Is this one? Are you there, IBC?
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on.
Yeah. So it's just this one here. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, if you're busy. Roger, anything else you want to say? Because soon we'll be switching to Nagelsmann, the pros.
I'm back. If
you go ahead, you said you wanted to address this one.
Against them, they won't get Poch. They can't be that ignorant. What is ignorant of signing an available manager that is credible enough to take on the job? What is ignorant about that? If you can, I don't understand. What is it apart from? Is it the Tottenham thing? Digest what did he do at Tottenham so bad that he cannot work at Chelsea? Let's just digest that. Is it just the fact that he worked for Tottenham?
Maybe ignorant of the rivalry, maybe.
But what okay, apart from the fact that they're geographically in the same city as us, what has Tottenham stopped us from doing, or vice versa? Like, what is it? What have they ever stopped us winning a title? Have they ever been close to? Have we met them in a cup final? Okay, yes, Carling Cup 2007. Whoop-de-whoop. I mean, whatever, innit? If you really want to hold that weight to the fact that Tottenham we shouldn't get an ex-Tottenham manager that is free, that is not even as a legend status at Tottenham. I mean, blimey. I mean, where do we stand? Who do we get? Who's available? Okay, if you're picking the lesser one of the two, you might say Nagelsmann, but let's just come off this. He's an ex-Chelsea, ex-Tottenham gaffer trope. Like it's a bit, it don't hold any weight in my opinion. It's baseless. So saying that board would be ignorant is just, it's not even, that doesn't hold any weight. They're gonna have to interview him. If he provides a good enough vision for the club, for the current squad, he's good to go. I don't see any problem in that. And if he gets us winning games, gets us scoring, gets us winning titles, I don't know, be it Nagelsmann or Pochettino, well, I mean, I don't see any problem in that. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Roger, you want to add anything to that, or should I move on?
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. I get it.
All right. Thank you so much. And this from Michael Obincamp says, any coach that will manage Chelsea. Okay, I've read that one. And this one here, yep, people keep smashing the like button. How many likes do we have already? I think 60 plus. But we can actually do better than that. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. Let's see if we can get to 100 by the time the show ends. Thank you so much for all your support. Sincerely do appreciate that. Spurs don't even deserve to be our rivals. Yeah, that's how deep the rivalry goes. Coach, does anyone know the demands Enrique made before he was turned down? I wouldn't say specifically that he's been turned down, because the rumors, there's no clarity to what's going on really. It's everywhere. If we're being honest, it's everywhere. Some say he's still in the running. They just, I think it was Fabrizio Romano saying something to the effect of they haven't spoken for a while, just something to the effect of that. But that's, by the way, I hope Barley doesn't intend to mingle in football matters. I don't think he'd be doing that. Let's see what happens. I think we had people left the club at the time where he got involved in the transfer, the club's transfer businesses. That he is Tottenham, yes, rivalry. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were saying. If they're ignorant to the fact that, how deep the rivalry between the two clubs runs. Any true Chelsea fan will agree.
Okay.
Well, if that's how you see it. PSG has won 8 League One titles in 10 years. The 2 losses are to Monaco with Mbappe and to Leo when Pochettino managed them. Okay, so with that, with this argument right now, so that shows you Pochettino isn't good enough. Okay, if that's how you see it, I think it's a strong argument. Though people will say, okay, look at it, he didn't win anything at Sports, and at PSG something happened. Okay. It's simply a job for these coaches. They don't care about club rivalries. Chimera, pick up, nice to see you. It's been a minute. Please do let me know if you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Pochettino came in PSG in the middle of first season. If I am not wrong. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Toko have easy way to find out with PSG. Pochettino lost 2 times against Real. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Erraro, always nice to see you. Pick a coach and let's move on. Okay, that's a serious one there. But I like Nagelsmann. I do like him too. I think tactically you could say he's the better of the two from what my research has shown me. Why did Chelsea owners reject? I'm not going to jump to that conclusion. I've told you that before. There's no clarity what's going on really. The rumors are that he's not being considered at this moment, but I'm not sure whether to believe that or not. Let it not be what I'm thinking, because I don't want the owners to control the manager. I don't think they'll be able to control Nagelsmann. He's a strong character. I've said that before. Because if it happens, what is happening now will still continue. And here's something I've tried to explain before. In the case of Graham Potter, maybe they got too close because they see things going the the team was struggling, and it doesn't look like, and it looked like as if Potter was under pressure. Maybe they got close to him to show him, look, we're with you. Don't be afraid. You're not losing your job. We'll still support you. Maybe they did that then. But it's easy for people to jump to the conclusion that he was a yes-man manager. And like I've said, if he's indeed a yes-man manager, then he will never become a top manager until he changes that. If you get my argument. I cannot forget how Poch bottled a Battle of the Bridge. This is the same result you get whenever you're out you're out to squeeze on him. His balls, what? In advice, it just needs a gentle tone. Just stop, please. Why did I even start reading that? It's a job for some of those coaches, but not for the fans. Right? Yeah, and I get it. I get what you mean there. What else do we have? Sorry, this one here reads, Todd has brought us low through his through hiring Potter. I cannot believe we're discussing Pochettino's achievements at Spurs. Good football, no trophy. If you want him, fine, but not based on Spurs results. That's a solid argument too. Mourinho took the United and Spurs job, didn't even take the rivalries into consideration. Yeah. Let's forget about Pochettino because he's not coming to Chelsea. I think it's not going to happen, really. Big up, just quickly, IBZ. Just quickly, please. Sorry. Big up IBG, DJ Sub. He says, big up Kachila and the panel. My usual lunchtime, watching from work. Always, again, love to have you available to join us whenever you have time, bro. Thank you. Isn't the same Poch that made Messi look like Gallagher at PSG? Wow. Oh, wow. Rivalry actually runs deep for Poch too. He said he would never coach. Is that Newcastle? Who's that old boys rival in Argentina or Arsenal? Okay, yeah, I don't know that name. He loves Tottenham. Okay, then we'll move on from that.
He probably won't manage Barcelona. Yeah, because of his ties with Espanyol. He probably won't manage Arsenal. Well, I mean, who will manage Tottenham then go to Arsenal as a manager? Like you have a death wish. That's in the same geographic proximity. And sorry to ruffle feathers, the rivalry between Tottenham and Arsenal differs from Chelsea and Tottenham. Like so he won't manage. How is he going to manage Arsenal? He will never do that. But Chelsea is just a different path. I think it's a different path in my opinion. Obviously there is rivalry, but it's just a different path. I don't care who we get. Nagelsmann, just get somebody. But to say, the hierarchy are going to say, yeah, because we want to please the fans. What's this pandering to the fans because of God knows what? I think it's a whole load of cobblers. If that they did it with Lampard, look where we are now. So I don't think they're just going to be pandering to the fans because of, it is what it is. If he gets it, it's based on merit. That's all. If he doesn't get it, it doesn't suit the vision. It's not because of anything Tottenham. That's what I think, anyway.
All right, thank you so much, Vincent Company. I think that was just a rumor. Nothing serious about that. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 67 likes, 3 more to 70. Maybe we can get to 100 before the show ends. But that's, by the way, let me get this comment and I'll go to Bobby immediately. Vincent Company, all rumors. Greetings all. Greetings all. All of these, dramedy has to stop. Honestly, I am beginning to doubt the know-how about these so-called football people, which the board has brought in. Okay, let's see what they do. He actually said that. Yes, it's Pochettino's words. Okay, I didn't argue otherwise. That's a fantastic idea. Let Pochettino manage Arsenal first. I know you'd come up with something like that. But yes, I also agree. Maybe he doesn't see Chelsea the same. We don't know. Moregbe, he says Luis Enrique is better, but we don't need him. It's as simple as that. This manager out, then it's starting to become something of an annual tradition unless they don't sign. You know whom? Yeah, I get it. I understand. But that's by the way. Please, if you're watching, if you haven't, keep dropping if you haven't, drop the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bobby, coming to you. The question I want to start you with is this. Can you educate us on why you think, if you believe that will never happen, why Pochettino will never become Chelsea manager?
I laugh at some things that when I hear them said, I just know it's because of, when you're young, perhaps you haven't really seen so much in football. Somebody was saying, oh, how can Pochettino manage Arsenal and not manage Chelsea? Yeah, George Graham managed Tottenham. George Graham managed Arsenal. And he played for Arsenal. So I can assure you there is a bigger chance of that happening than the Chelsea fan base warming to this geezer. Yesterday, I told you, it's not the foreign fan base that is going to be the problem. It will be the stadium-going, local, proper Chelsea. They won't like this geezer. They don't like this geezer. The only thing that can make him possibly manage Chelsea if he's surrounded by Chelsea people. But even then, if he starts to make mistakes, there will be kickoff. Look at all these people that like to.
The person you mentioned, somebody in the chat said, "I played for Chelsea
all
too."
these
Did the
people
person
that
play
like
for Chelsea?
to attack Todd Bowley for passing wind would definitely get on his case about Pochettino. It is just including scandal and more difficulty into the Chelsea situation. It's not a good idea. It's as simple as that. Now, will they take it up? Okay. Vival, Stewart, Winston Lee, they're the experts. Whatever they go for, I would respect. But the fans, as I know them, I really am not sure that would go down well. We have if I may choose my words carefully, we have a home-based lot that are fully steeped into the historical dislike of Spurs, and then we have a largely non-home-based fan base that are very steeped into the critical side of things, criticizing the owners. I mean, this is a powder keg for disharmony. It makes no sense. I'm even surprised we're talking about this geezer. It makes absolutely no sense. It should be narrowed down to either Nagelsmann or Enrique, as I see it, because there's nobody else.
What if they're not available? What if they're not available, Bobby?
Well, then there's always a plan B, isn't there?
I think probably by now they've already made up their mind. From what I'm seeing, there's a chance.
What if we're running out? What if we're running out of time? We're trying to find the right manager because this geezer managed Spurs. Do we have time?
Do you think? I mean, this is very presumptuous. What if? What if they're not running out of time? What if they've already got the manager already?
We don't know that. I'm sure that
with Bayern for Nagelsmann. I mean, we don't know.
I'm sure we would have got wind of that if we've got wind that they've shut down the talks with Enrique because he's so to speak made so many demands and now they've switched their attentions to Pochettino. Say that
contrary to what you might believe. A lot of these things is coming from.
I don't believe anything, Bobby. Just to put it out there, my argument is that I don't believe that the board are going to factor the fact that this guy managed Spurs as a deterrent to not manage, give him the job. If he presents a philosophy for them in which they like, and it fits in with their criteria, I think it's all guns and it's all going to be gone. It's all going to go through. Whether or not,
you could be right.
You're not wrong.
This heavy emphasis on Pochettino. Oh, they're going to do the. I read somewhere someone was saying, oh, all the board like Pochettino. It's bullshit.
I don't know about all of that. All I know is that if they approach him formally just, if they have to approach him formally, come to the interview room, speak your piece. If we like it, we take it. If we don't, I don't think, because you managed Tottenham, it said in that period, even when we were winning titles, in that period when you're managing Spurs, you're gonna be like, I don't see that being their deterrent. Obviously,
my
the fans
response
are
to that, my response to that is quite simply, yes, I hear what you're saying. After all, Roman Abramovich appointed Rafa Benitez,
by the island. You know what I mean?
who the fans absolutely hated.
Exactly.
But my point is that the fans will not like it.
And Bobby's point is that it will come with a problem, lots of problems.
It will create more controversy. And the last thing the club needs is more controversy. Now, Roman Abramovich was able to do that despite the fans' dislike for Rafa Benitez, because he had already won numerous trophies before Benitez. And even when Benitez came, Benitez won a trophy. So the fans could just focus their
trophy at the end
dislike.
of the season, in that season. So
You keep interrupting me. I can't even get a word in.
Sorry, so I was just trying to add on to that. Yeah, go on.
So the fans could focus their dislike on Benitez, but this is a different case. These guys haven't won anything, and Pochettino has never won anything. At least Benitez came as a European Cup winner and several other trophies. Pochettino has won diddly squat, apart from the league at France, which, if I remember rightly, I'm not even sure if he won that either. But, that's probably why they got rid of him. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the point therein is that there is already a faction of fans that are criticizing the ownership. And what, you want to go and put yourself in that position for even more disharmony? Fine. If that's what you want to do, I can't do anything about it. But I'm just saying it's not a good idea. I personally, I believe they've spoken to him, because they've spoken to a lot of people. They spoke to Amarin. There is somebody, Jose Mourinho's twerking to come back. Some people have made a very strong case for him. I don't personally believe he should, but some people do. I honestly, at this point in time, I wanted Enrique, but I think they're going to go with Nagelsmann. I really do. I think it's
I think they're probably at the close of our point announcing him. Actually, that's how I see it.
I think so. I think they've probably sealed the deal with Bayern Munich. There's no reason why Bayern Munich won't allow the deal, especially with us having the make weight of the defensive coach going the other way. That is the more likely thing to happen. And even that's not that popular, but I can assure you it won't get the kickback that Pochettino will. That's all I'm saying. What they could turn around and say they would employ, what's the worst case scenario for Chelsea? They go back and employ Graham Potter. That's their prerogative. But, I can't control that. But what I do know is that the consequence of that is just waiting to happen. And Pochettino will be a powder keg at Chelsea, especially if he starts losing some games.
That's what I'm saying. If results are going well, he's a winner, because results change games, results change mindset. If he wins,
and trophies,
if he wins,
he comes and wins the Premier League, smacks up Spurs home and away. People will calm down. There will still be that undertone in dislike, but people will calm down, like they did with Benitez. Benitez won the UEFA Cup. He wasn't getting quite as many boos. There were still some people, but there were also some people. I remember I used to do Chelsea TV in those days. There were still some people that came out and they would say, well, I don't like him, but, he's won this. Let's give him a bit of a chance. That started creeping in. So winning things is the thing. But the problem with Pochettino, I don't think you understand how much Chelsea fans hate Spurs. It's quite deep.
I want to know how deep it is. I'm living there. I don't know Spurs. I don't see rivalry wise.
Okay, let me give you the history.
Not on the pitch wise. I don't see, in the last 20 years, I don't see any way Chelsea have been like Tottenham has stopped Chelsea in achieving its goals. I can see probably Arsenal. I can see probably Manchester United, Liverpool, But Tottenham Hotspur, I mean, really? Really? Are they a deterrent to Chelsea's success? In the period that said manager was there, we won titles. So
Right,
I don't see in recent. Obviously, if you want to go deeper than
let me
older than I am,
let me explain to you what
let me
this
just
is
land on that
about.
one. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I don't
Let
think it will
me.
hold any weight in the owner's
He
thinking.
won't
That's
let me.
all. That's
He
all I'm
won't
saying.
let me talk.
No, I'm
You're
just going to
getting
land here.
very
I just want to
emotional
land.
about this, and
No,
I'm
not
just
at all.
trying to tell you
Not
what
at
is.
all.
No, that's how
Not at all.
IBZ speaks. He's just saying let him drop so
Let
you
me
can
just land.
come in back.
Yeah. Let me just
Yeah.
land. Let me just land. What I'm
Let
saying
me
is,
let me
go on.
explain to
IBZ,
you the
let Bobby
sentiment.
finish.
Let me explain to you the sentiment. A lot of football things, a lot of football rivalries, they go back, way back.
Yeah.
You know, the Real Madrid, for example, the Real Madrid-Barcelona issue, it goes back to the old civil war, the whole Catalonia, all that. That's where it started. And then other things bolt on. Chelsea, Spurs, unfortunately, there's no war involved, but it goes back. It goes back to the League Cup that the final in the 1965 that Chelsea beat them in. It goes back mainly to the 1975 relegation battle. Spurs and Chelsea were whoever lost that game was going to go down.
Yep.
And Spurs beat Chelsea at White Hart Lane 2-0. Off the field, it goes back to a lot of terrace activity. Chelsea, the tear-ups between Chelsea fans and Spurs fans haven't been documented. They were legendary. There were some major tear-ups between those two fans. And that's how it is.
But I
People
don't know why
remember
that
these
sentiment
things.
is not held towards Jose Mourinho today. If that is the case, then that sentiment should
It
be
is the
held
case.
towards Jose
I'm not
Mourinho
debating it.
today.
I'm telling you. I'm
Because
telling
he
you what
managed
it's like.
Spurs. That sentiment should be held towards Jose Mourinho today, regardless of him winning us a league
Let me
title.
come to Jose, and you're ignoring something I've said earlier. Winning trophies dullens the pain. Jose Mourinho has won multiple trophies at Chelsea. He's still, regardless of wherever he's been, he still affiliates himself with Chelsea. He calls Chelsea his home. He lives in Chelsea. So Chelsea fans, when he was with rival teams, boy, did they, I mean, I don't know whether you were at the stadium, but they gave it to him. But now he's talking about coming. If Jose Mourinho walks into that Chelsea dressing room, the fans will be right behind him. Why? Because of his history. He didn't win anything at Spurs.
So is it now down to what you've won now? So it's not down to the fact that you were
What I'm
playing at
telling you is
Tottenham.
that what you've won helps. If
It looks
Pochettino,
like
if you've
what
listened
you've
to what
won
I
is the
said,
definitive factor here.
he's not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you guys have been going back and forth. Let me catch up with a bit of what we have in the chat. We haven't even spoken about Nagelsmann, but Bob, you go ahead, drop.
I just want to drop because I don't even know why this is an argument. I'm just saying if Pochettino comes and can ride the hell that he's going to go through and wins a trophy, with each trophy he wins, the sentiment will die down. And what he'll have in his favour is that he hasn't won anything at Spurs, but he's won something at Chelsea. So the Chelsea fans can use that in their banter on the terraces and be singing songs to Spurs. You have to win the fans over. That's the point. And the hill to win them over for him is a lot steeper than somebody like Nagelsmann that doesn't have that history behind him. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let me catch up with the chat. We'll move on to talking about the pros and cons of hiring Julian Nagelsmann. Aurora Alba says, but I'll get Aurora's thoughts before we move on. If I were a top coach, I wouldn't consider Chelsea seeing all these dramatic going on. Even the interviewer don't instill any confidence in me. Okay, what DJ says here quickly. I'm going to skip quite a lot right now to get to the very bottom. For me, Poch has not done enough to warrant the job at Chelsea. The board need to get it right, or there will be issues with the fan base. I think so too. Enrique is 10 times the manager, but we're told he's not in the running anymore. Okay, the club Poch coach in Argentina. Okay, thank you for that. This is an he played for Chelsea too, I think, with the players Bobby referenced. So thank you there. And Munoz says, company plays a direct possession game similar to Lampard's style of play. during his first season in charge of Chelsea. Some observation right there. It's one of the worst seasons for us in recent history. We still managed to have a laugh at Tottenham, thanks to the stars or Kante. Why do you want to change that banter? Again, it's the owners. It's the owners, it's not me. And JC, I've told you that. Stop talking to me like I'm the one making those decisions, if that makes sense. Lots of Chelsea fans are young, so they just act and pretend like a proper Chelsea with Pochettino sponsor. You don't have to use the word stupidity. I've said that before. I pick Gallardo as a manager rather than Poch. I think Gallardo, for me, I wouldn't risk Gallardo. He has no European experience. I know he's done well with his tiki-taka type of approach, but intricate maybe. I don't know what language to use to describe his football. Tottenham are our whipping boys. Why carry them on our head and a shoulder? Wow, some argument. Nagelsmann is coming. That's it. From the New York, and I think that's what's going to happen. This says, Bobby, speaking facts, you weren't going to say otherwise as your gang member. Well, big up to you, DJ. Poch will never be accepted by the Chelsea fans. The old school fan base that have been supporting Chelsea for years will never accept that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I suspect that too.
Coach, can I say something?
Yeah, in a bit, just in a bit. Let me catch up. This is getting too long. Just in a bit, if you don't mind. Aurora, please, just in a minute or two. Yeah, let me see if there's anything to get here. This says Bolly loves the spotlight too much. He's trying to dominate the back pages as well as the front. Look at last summer's circus. Barca and all their levers. That was on him. Move in silence, bro. Okay. Poch is assistant manager, but he cannot manage big ego players like Mbappe. You go ahead, Aurora. Go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Yes. Greetings to everyone, Bobby.
And greetings to you too. It's been a while.
Yes. Two things I want to kind of comment on. First, with what Bobby was saying regarding the history. There's really a lot of history, and it takes. I mean, for different generations, they see that history as they see it differently. All right. So when Bobby's talking about history, he knows what he's talking about. He goes way deeper than what we're just seeing. But my thing is this: with the history of the club that Bobby knows, are you saying that Vivel and the other guys they don't know about that history? Because
there's a chance they don't. I don't know.
No, I mean,
respond to that quick.
How can they be in football and they are supposed to be football in quotes football people, and we don't know?
This is a presumption. You're presuming that they haven't taken that into consideration. They haven't appointed him yet. So until they do, we can't say that they haven't taken it into consideration. I would like to think they will.
Exactly.
So there's a chance the club aren't even speaking to him. We don't know.
But
go ahead.
I'm assuming. Yes, I'm assuming. I want to believe, like Bobby said. I also want to believe that they have. But I just think there's enough drama in Chelsea already. What is the drama of interviewing 100 people? It's the same thing as the coach finding it difficult to pick 25 players from the big. It's the same thing they are doing. You interview this, you interview this. It just shows. It shows a level of disorganization in the setup. That's the way I see it. First and foremost, I already believe that there are too many cooks.
Talk. The club haven't told you they've interviewed anybody.
No, but
these are Twitter and content creators telling you this.
Yes, but all of our information, we know none of us is in the boardroom. So everything we're talking about here is speculation and media talk, really. But there's to a large extent there's some some sources where you get this information that you can say a bit credible because they've been credible in other cases. But you see, all of this talk, this drama, interviewed 100 people, it just does not instill any confidence in the fans. And that is what everybody's scared of. I don't think fans are really, yes, maybe to an extent, maybe Poch, but even though it doesn't really make any sense, but the fans will be fans. You can't tell fans how they will be. These people have been supported. Some people feel a sense of entitlement to the team more than others. It's just the way it is. You can't change that. But what I'm saying is that the drama has to stop. The board, whoever is making the decisions with picking the coach, let's stop hearing up, because there's an element to truth in most of these things we're hearing. They interviewed Enrique. 1 minute it was Enrique that was stopped. The next minute is Nagelsmann. The next minute Nagelsmann wants to clear up stuff with Bayern. The next minute is Amorim. Next minute, this is just rubbish.
Can I just add one more thing to that? It's only Nagelsmann and Enrique that have come out and said they were interviewed. Nobody else, not even Amorim. So the rest all came from news, media, social media, all these so-called journalists, content creators.
Yeah, of course, content creators and panelists.
Yeah.
They're just winding us.
Hey, when you say content creators, I died.
It's in the court of it's just in the court of public opinion. As far as we can be confident and say, it was Enrique because he was coming off the plane and going on the plane and saying where he was going, and Nagelsmann, who has also said that he's spoken to Chelsea. Nobody else.
Yeah, true. All right, let me catch up with the chat, and we'll talk about the downside to hiring Julian Nagelsmann, and I'll start with Rolo. But once I do that, JC here always providing some logic. It says, what population is 8.5 billion? There are many talented managers there.
I'm going to head off.
Okay, more than 90.
Pick up the chat. Big up everybody.
Okay, thank you. Big up to you. Always nice to have you. More than 90% of them have not heard of Tottenham. Are you saying there's no talented managers in the 90%? Let's move on. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate you saying that. Roger, if you have anything to say anytime, you can come in. But if you can give me space to catch up, that I will really appreciate that. Okay, thank you, bro. So Jimmy Greaves was a sports legend that still played for Chelsea and Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Poch been out for coaching for a while. I'm not sure why no office. Yeah, I get where you're going with that. And Rahayu, aka is it 353 Dilemma, or I forgot the formation. How are you doing, bro? Viva FC now, company in the mix now. Yeah, lots of names. Even Spalletti, even the former River Plate coach. What's his name? Marcelo Gallardo. At one point, in his case, what we heard was that the club actually are on the verge of appointing him as the new Chelsea coach. Yeah, a lot has been said, and it's everywhere. There's no clarity as to what's happening, really. If I have to believe coach and his photographs, Pochettino wears only blue colors. I think, I'm just coming to that. It just occurs to me that has been the case, actually, but I'll start paying attention now since you've said that. So I'm going to scroll quite a lot and only say big up to you too, Vivel. I'm going to catch a few comments from those that I haven't read any of their comments. Only true Chelsea fans know about Tottenham rivalry. I wouldn't say only true Chelsea fans. I think it just it sounds as if you're alienating all the Chelsea fans that don't know about the rivalry that well. Yeah, but I get your point. We'll move on from that. What else do we have here? What else? I'm going to scroll to the verb, but let me see if I see anything important. He went to Manchester United too, just for the sake of it being in the job. Yeah, okay, you're talking about Mourinho, I guess. Okay, just having a conversation there. Let's see. Lenfield, beat the truth. American owners will not give the job to anyone with a high mentality. The siege mentality and war mentality is dead. Americans don't want the siege mentality anymore. Wow, that is some argument right there. What else do we have? Yeah, relax. Just having a conversation there. This one says, Poch fits their yes man model. That's what a lot of people are saying. And Chelsea boy, I hope you're doing well. And this year, Bobby, you're spot on. Yeah, you agree with him. So I know where you stand now. You're in the Bobby gang. I see that. He keeps.
It's just the reality, coach.
You know, I know. Forget how I phrased it. Look, if anybody is acting up, if you have the power, time them out. And if you have the managing moderator power, you can actually ban the person if you want to. Bobby is spot on. He's DJ, go away. I don't expect you to say otherwise. Let's see what else we have here. Tottenham to Chelsea is a greater pool than a Chelsea to Tottenham. Mount, Kante, and FVB all. Is it Mourinho, Kante, and AVB all coach Tottenham after Chelsea? Not saying we need Poch, but he will not mind coming to Chelsea. So I get I get how what you explained now, but it's a greater pool the other way around, like you explained. Let's see what else we have here. In my opinion, okay, you're just laughing. Okay, imagine rejecting a tier tiki-taka manager Enrique just to get B-tier tiki-taka manager Gallardo. Yeah, I didn't want Gallardo. I heard the news. I thought it was the truth because they were saying, lots of big accounts were carrying the news saying he was on the verge of becoming the next Chelsea manager. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. No European experience too. Fans will flip. Of course, Bally not going to do the right thing. I think they would do the right thing, and that's why they're taking their time. Maybe if the right thing ends up being them hiring Pochettino, then that's going to be a problem. Even though I know if he starts winning, the fans will get behind him. But yeah, there will be something close to a revolt. The only reason why Poch gets the job, if successful, because he's a yes man. Wow. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, Chelsea is more attractive. Yeah, I understood that when I read it. But thank you for saying that. Let's see. Drama is good for the owners. PR machines stay relevant on the news. Some argument. Again, let's see what else we have. I just came back from matching a Poch Football Cup. And okay, to say I am sold. He plays champion football. Wow. Let's see anything else serious to get here. There's some fans who will accept Harry Kane, a sports legend. That's the point. Hypocritical and pathetic. Yeah, that's better put, a phrase right now, rather than calling anybody stupid. The owners are trying to get it right. No one is sure of which of them will hit the ground running. They really needed to get it right. And that's what they're trying. And kudos to them for taking their time and not rushing the decisions. So I think we're going to go to talking about the cons, the downside to hiring Julian Nagelsmann. We don't have too much time. I think we'll talk about it in a bit. Then later on, we can continue. I'm starting with you, Aurora Arbo. How well do you know Julian Nagelsmann? I know it's about high press. It's about keeping the back three very tight to avoid the risk of counterattacks and all that. And how quickly they whenever they get the position, they get the ball from the opponent, the speed at which they reach the other end is something I like to see. But I think it may be somewhat risky in the Premier League. It remains to be seen if he emerges as the new manager of the club. It remains to be seen. We'll see how he copes with the pace and the physicality of the Premier League. But your thoughts, what do you think are the downside to hiring Julian Nagelsmann?
Okay, so for me, tactically, Julian Nagelsmann is not a coach that I can truly speak on. But what I can say is, because I haven't watched a lot of his games, to be honest with you, but what I can say is, of course, that temperament as a younger guy, coach, and coming to a big team, even though Bayern Munich is a big team, but the kind of football...
Sorry, quickly. I didn't know I said 3-5-3, and look at reverse smoking me in the chat, but go ahead, brother.
Okay, so
oh my goodness.
Bayern is the biggest team he has managed, but it doesn't come with the kind of media scrutiny, fan scrutiny that happens in England. So for me, that experience as him being the age that he is, a younger coach, that for me doesn't work in his favor because he has not seen anything when it comes to pressure. If he thinks he had pressure in Germany, if he comes to England, it's a different kettle of fish. So that's that tactically. I can't speak much about that, but when looking at the other part of the appointment, the English fans, English football, and all of that, I think he's a good coach. I can't speak about his tactical prowess, but other than that, I just feel that his age and all the other factors might work against him. But I mean, if he comes, I think he's also a good coach, but I would prefer someone else, but not Poch, because Poch for me has not. There's no result to show me that Poch has. I don't see any result. He hasn't won anything. So I mean, nobody remembers the second place team. Nobody, So for Poch, no, it's not because of the rivalry, but I just don't think he's the person.
Okay, Coach, do you want Poch? No, we're just looking at it from all angles. Why it's not a good idea? Why again? There are some you can say compelling factors. Actually, if you look at them, you say, well, maybe it will work if that makes sense. So no, I don't want him really. My preference is Julian Nagelsmann, if that makes sense. He follows it up with come clean.
If it was a choice between Nagelsmann and Poch, I definitely would go with Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I'm going. Nagelsmann is my preference. When Enrique was still in the running, my first choice was Enrique. Vincent Kompany on the short list in Chelsea manager's job. Latest news. I don't believe that. I saw that was a few days ago. I think that one has actually is died off. What does America have to do with this? Yeah, fight for us, bro. Fight for us, please. I love Kompany. It may be early, but he is what the Premier League is all about. We understandably wouldn't get him in our situation, but he will be a great manager. The signs are it's looking like he has what it takes to become a great manager. But I wouldn't advocate for the club to go for him now. It would be disastrous, really. It's a huge risk. Which section you said? Okay, just having a conversation with DJ there. Let me see anything else to address here. Let me get the members comments here. I have this one here saying, can you change Poch's photo? Yeah, to Nagelsmann right now. Thank you so much for reminding me. At least you're in a hurry. You want me to change it immediately. Okay, there you go. You happy now? Big up to you too, Moaz. I hope you're doing well, Prince. Nice to see you. I see Kompany in that list. I just laugh. No, I think it's all nonsense. I don't think we'll consider him. Just say, let's just say coach is right for a moment. And I'm not saying he is. Just stop. Just say I am. He's not. But can you imagine the banter on the sports fan base if we won the league or Champions League with Poch? Oh, so you're trying to see some positives with the situation. Mr. Troublemaker Vincent Kompany works with youngsters worked with youngsters at Anderlecht, and he brought the best out of them. He will be good pick if Nagelsmann doesn't come. It's a risk. It's no different. It will be no different from the risk we took when we hired Graham Potter. At this stage, with Enrique not on the list, I am rooting for Nagelsmann unless Mo gets the interview 100%. No yes man coach like Kompany or Tottenham, Frank or Gallardo or Poch.
When we did that kickoff meeting, there were
sorry, Aurora, can you hear me?
Escalation. Because I think we
need to mute him.
Yeah, I think he's in the meeting and he didn't know we could still hear him. I was like, what's going on? Let's see what else we have here. How are people drunk already? Kompany? Oh my days. People shouldn't be at this stage. But that's, by the way, anything else to get. But more importantly, Glenn, How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I'm going to go to Roger before I go to Bobby. Roger, do you see any downside to Chelsea hiring Nagelsmann? And have you done your research with regards to his tactics?
Not extensively.
Okay.
My only doubts are he's not proven in the Premier League, and he succeeded the most with I know Hoffenheim and so forth, but he succeeded with in a league that's a one-horse race basically, and he's young. However, his youth could be an advantage with regards to relating to the abundance of young players we have. So I see it as a positive and a negative. His tactics, I've seen him play. I mean, I've seen him coach. I understand roughly, but I haven't gone into depth. I think it's well suited for the personnel we have. I really do. And he knows Nkuku well, right? So
yeah,
I mean, that's a big. You don't have to establish a new relationship there. You know, he knows what Nkuku is capable of, what he prefers, what his weaknesses and strengths are, etc., etc. So in that regard, he can hit the ground running, so to speak. And I mean, you're talking about saving time, and that's important. He's ahead of the curve in that regard. You know, I don't. I'm just worried that is this a big? Listen, Bayern's huge in Germany. Don't get me wrong. I'm not belittling them at all. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he won every single Champions League game he coached this season. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I know they had an up and down season, but they lost Lewandowski. Listen, when you're a team that is good and you lose a player such as a Lewandowski, who I consider one of the best strikers in the world, that there is going to be a drop-off. It's like Chelsea losing Drogba. Of course there's going to be a drop-off. So I get that. It's hard to say who I probably am more leaning towards him. However, I still have small doubts. I like the style he plays, by the way. I do. But then again, that's with a team. I've only really noticed him coaching Bayern. I never professed to have watched Hoffenheim or whomever else he's coached before. So it's a how shall I put this? You're watching a man playing amongst boys for the most part in that league. Yeah, there's a couple of challenging teams in that league, but to all intents and purposes, it's not a true litmus test, if I may say. That's my only reservation I have about him. But he's cerebral, he's smart. I like German coaches. I like their approach. They're very logical. They're very Eins, zwei, drei kind of thing. I don't know. Time will tell. Let's put it that way. But if we have to choose anyone, why not? I guess why not?
Yeah, I think it's the better of the two names that are being talked about right now.
And he doesn't have a stench of coaching one of our rivals.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. With his regard to his approach, 36% of the goals that Bayern scored were from the passes. The chance creation came from the central area.
Yeah, that's good.
And on the flanks was around 31 from it. Again, I've forgotten the percent, but centrally 36, which is more than they created from the flanks. So do we really have enough players capable of creating clear-cut chances from the central area? Enzo plays deep, and my suspicion is that there's a chance he plays Enzo as deep as he's played for us since he joined us. So, which means my only concern with if he eventually if he emerges as a new Chelsea manager is that I think we may need to sign some players for him.
I don't know. Look at the passes he made to Kai, and to Felix, those beautiful chips over the top. You know, when he's
but how many times has he been able to make such passes?
No, true, but you know, he's new to the team. He's only been here, you know, not long. Don't forget. So,
but here's my point.
It's how he's utilized. No, I get your point, and it's valid.
We should be Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's valid. You have a good point, but I think I consider Enzo a creative player. You know, more so than a defensive midfielder. That's for sure. I think he's capable, and he has the vision. Don't forget, what is he? 21. I mean, the things he's done right now for Chelsea, some of the nice passes he's done. I like it. You give them a pre-season to work on stuff. I think Enzo is capable of doing that. Now you can't play Enzo for 90 minutes.
And here's the point I want to make. Even when we play with three midfielders, the other two usually, creating chances from the central area isn't their strongest suit. Even when they get the chance on the flanks, usually they can't even put the ball into the box where they're on the carpet or in the air. So my point is, even when we play, like for instance, when we play with 2 6s, the hybrid of the 2 6s, which are usually Kovacic playing as a hybrid of 8 and 6, chance creation isn't his thing. And those chances at Bayern, majority of them are on the carpet and that defense splitting. How many times have we seen that? Yeah, Enzo have come in and showed he's capable of doing it, but he seemed to have struggled a bit when the opposition teams defend.
Everyone has struggled in this.
Yeah, but collectively they've struggled. So, and one thing
you're right.
we're not quite sure. Go ahead.
Our midfield does lack creativity. You're right about that.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. We can't rely on Enzo alone. All those people that play, whoever pairs him, especially those that have the freedom to be more adventurous than Enzo, while he's the more disciplined of the two, should be able to create such chances to mainly on the carpet. Because when teams defend deep, you usually don't find spaces. And if you want to lob the ball at this, then so my point is, I wouldn't say that's a con. That just means we may have to go into the market again. If you get my point.
So you know what? The more I think about it, I think Bobby brought it up yesterday, and I like Kovacic, but he's not clinical. He doesn't contribute to goals of any substance in a season, and he's not that creative. You know, when you look at his detractions, they're quite significant in that regard. You know, he progresses the ball very well. Don't get me wrong, and through the lines. You know, obviously, and he reads the game well, etc., etc. But from the creative side, you're right. I mean, we're lacking in that. Even Kante to a certain extent, but he's a unique player. So,
chance creation is his strongest suit.
No, is that none of them really are?
Yeah,
apart from
none
Enzo.
of them. That's why I'm concerned because we're not going to be.
Valid.
Go ahead.
It's valid. No, I'm concurring with you. It's valid. We probably do need to go into the market. Or
but I wouldn't say.
Santos?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about Santos? Is he creative enough?
No, he's not. No, if anything, he's more defensive. But I'll learn more about Santos when I'm planning a video with my friend Jessica Frota. Maybe that's when I'll gain a broader understanding of how he operates how he applies himself on the pitch. Here's the thing. I wouldn't say that's a con though. But which just means that the club, we may need to change things around. I don't know, because Kovacic, at this age, he's not a young player that you could say under Nagelsmann, that may change. But I've seen him improve a bit, really. There's a chance he look at them and say, you know what, I can get them to start creating more chances from the central areas, defense splitting passes, and on the carpet too. But that's something we rarely see from our players. So to me, the way his team, the Bayern team played, creating chances from the central area, 36% out of 100% is a huge number. And he likes exploiting the half spaces. He likes it, and we haven't been doing that much too. So I'm not sure, but I trust him tactically. The question now is, do we have the players that will help him to implement his preferred approach? But he's a smart guy. is not one that says it must be like this. Even he drills his team in a way that they're able to adjust the way they play just to do well against again the next opposition, if that makes sense. Vivel says, Roger, you're a lawyer of which manager currently? Like, who do you represent now? Nobody. Right now, he just plays the devil's advocate right now. If they sign Poch, it will be the biggest embarrassment at the club. Wow, that's some statement there. What the pressure is on Kunku. Okay. I hope he doesn't come in with the pressure thinking that it's on him now to change the situation for us. I wanted to, it doesn't just have to be the strikers or the forward men that will be scoring. Because I want the goals to be coming from all departments of the team. What did Panda say? Did I miss there? Okay, I've read that already. And these are from Dexter says, Matt Law and Todd Bowley Times confirmed company. And I am and one unnamed person are on the board's list a few minutes ago. Other journalists are reporting Arsenal looking at Mount. Thank you for that update. Vincent Company will be perfect for Chelsea, says the zombie fanatic. Okay. Same thing a lot of us say before we sign, before the club hired Graham Potter. If rival means something for you, you cannot accept Harry Kane. Also, it's simply, it just makes sense. If you don't want Poch, then we might as well not watch Harry Kane. Coach, why is it hard to join the panel? Connect me via Twitter, and then I'll send you the link. It's a risk, and plus there's no time. But we have an approach that whenever we do that, I can actually share the link in the chat, and people, I think, to go through a verification process, or maybe stay on camera so I see they're the one. If that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? Bobby, how about you? Do you see any downside with regards to the club hiring Nagelsmann? I think we'll continue the conversation later after Bobby speaks. Bobby, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Just before I get to Nagelsmann, I always like to pick out some of the comments that are made. And look, there are people just trying to rationalize this issue of, taking a rival's this or that, coming out with, if you can't have Poch, then why would you have Kane? And look, there's no rationalizing this. This is what it is. People like DJ Sav and Chelsea Dan, people that are season ticket holders, they go to the stadium. Their fathers went to the stadium and saw the old times. They know what it is. If you have a feel for the fan base that are there on the ground, you will know that history has been passed down. That's what football is about. So whether you might want a softening of that history, or you might not want, you might want them to consider Pochettino. I'm not saying that for certain. I'm just giving an example. You're not going to change that hardcore element. Just like I can say all this, and if the ownership say, they want him, well, I can't change it. But I will promise them that there will be consequences, especially if it doesn't work. Now, getting to Nagelsmann. I wish I knew more about Nagelsmann. When I'm in a position like this, I go with the experts. Vival has actually worked with him. And Vival, although he's in charge of the global side of things, this is what people fail to always remember with him. He isn't I'd rather not believe he's a stupid person, and he will talk to people that have worked in the Premier League, like Winston Lee, in particular, Stuart to a lesser extent, before he went to Monaco. And I always forget the name of the fourth one that they've got there within the directorship. These are the people in the know. And if they feel that this is the man, football management is more than what you do on the pitch, whether we like it or not. What you do on the pitch is massive, is critical. But the way you work with the board is so important. Pep Guardiola works with the Man City board and the directorship. That's partly why he's been there for so long, inclusive of his success. There were other successful managers, but they found it better working with him than any of the others. Jurgen Klopp works with the board and the ownership of Liverpool. This is why it works. And at the moment, as does Arteta at Arsenal. So we should stop pretending that this is anything new and giving labels like, oh, yes, they're looking for a yes man. And that's that. No, they're looking for someone they can work with because they have a project, they have a direction, and they want it to work. Of course you want it to work. You don't want somebody that's going to scupper and put a spanner in the works of the direction you're going. You don't want a manager that will come in and say, oh, give me this player, get rid of this player, do this, do that. Of course it's not going to work, especially if there's no reason. Now, if Nagelsmann comes, of course, there is space for him to have his players. We need a midfielder. People are talking about Santos. As far as I've seen of Santos, he can be defensive and offensive. But we have to remember he's a very young guy. And is he that muscle we need in midfield? I'm not too sure. He's not a little guy, but, is he the muscle we're looking for? No, I'm not sure. I think we still need that. Certainly, Nagelsmann will have his say on a striker, which quite clearly we need, and a goalkeeper. So he will have some of his players, but he would have seen what's coming. He's worked with Nkunku. He should be rubbing his hands at that if he's coming, and he should have looked through the squad. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Mudryk or Enzo? And indeed, people like Badiashile, Fofana. These are the gifted people we have. Reece James, Ben Chilwell. So there's a lot there. We do have a good number of players. There are those that are pulling down the side, like Sterling, but those like Kante that are priceless, a world-class midfielder like that, of course he's going to want to work with him. So the issue with Nagelsmann I have is, one, does he have enough nous about him to deal with not even just the pressure of the Premier League, but the tactical difficulty of the Premier League? The managers work you out very quickly, especially when you're new. And of course, you have all the media helping them to work you out. They're analyzing your team on a weekly basis, calling your tactical moves and exposing it. Do you have enough about you to reinvent your play in game like Tuchel did, like Guardiola does, like Klopp does, and people like that? That is left to be seen. And also, does he have enough about him in the Premier League at Chelsea to deal with the egos? Now, I think there are lots of young players in the team, so the egos won't be a problem. And people like Thiago Silva, they will work with him. After all, Silva works with Lampard, and if he befriends them, gets them on board, I think, and listens to them, I think they'll be happy to work with him. It's an unknown, but just like anything else, we could bring Mourinho in tomorrow. It's an unknown. People could ask the question: is he going to upset the squad? Mourinho is a terrorist, and I say that. I don't mean that literally. I'm just saying, he comes in, he terrorizes some players that are not doing what he wants. Would that work with youngsters? I don't think it will. So everything is an unknown, and of the list of unknowns, I go back. Enrique and Nagelsmann tend to be my favorites, and realistically, I can't see them going beyond Nagelsmann unless they do what is my real favorite and get hold of Hansi Flick.
Yeah, I don't think that I think that ship has sailed, but I get where you're coming from. Roger, the real question is, what will earn you the most money, defending Poch or defending Nagelsmann? Poch, right? He's asking you that question. With Poch, I think Roger will have a lot of work to do with his devil's advocate of a thing. It won't be easy to do that. Let me see what else we have here. Vivel Elsioki just having a conversation with Vivel. And here, I think you may have to break down this even more. Enzo, Enzo, a question mark, a 6 on average per game versus Fabregas, a 2 average per game. Are you talking about assists or so? I'm not sure what you're. Can you elaborate? Just talking to Glenn there. Anything else to read here? There's also De Zerbi as well, who would be a good appointment. I think here's the thing. I'm not getting into the argument. Let them hire who they think would get the job done. Enrique was my preference over, again, when they had about 4 or 5 people on the list. I'm not sure what to make of the remaining 2 people. Now, if in fact it is between Nagelsmann and Poch, I would take Nagelsmann anytime, any day. Just for the risk that, of what, for what I believe will happen should the club go ahead and hire, should the club decide to hire Pochettino. The rivalry between the 2 clubs can cause a lot of problem within the fan base. Let me see what else we have here. And Lolo, my good friend, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. You went down from Nagelsmann to Pochettino. I don't recommend it. And company would be just another Potter. Thank you for saying that very kindly. You need experienced coaches, people you've seen succeed in big teams. No more projects. Thank you. Like I've said before, and like I think the Blue Tiffy game said, you put a halt to the project at the moment, stabilize the ship, and then sail to whatever destination you have in mind. Because right now, where we are, if we're trying to continue with the project, it would take even longer for us to get into, for instance, a top 4 or get European football. That's concerning, really. Thank you, Lola. I hope you're doing well. Anything else here to address? Mateo Covas's representatives are in London to talk to Man City about the transfer to the blue side of Manchester City. Who is this? Harim Konjan? I don't know who that is. The person that put out the news. This says it all depends who's available and how long we will wait for another top class manager. Bobby, I respect your opinion, but your understanding of football tactics is questionable. Do you have to say that? You're a good talker, but when you start supporting Potter, you find it difficult to understand that Enzo is lacking. I think you're mixing things up here. But I'm just gonna move on from it anyway. It's all about timing, Constantine Dante. I love it. And I think I deserve it. Give us Enrique. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen. If company becomes the next manager, I am Potter in, just for the sake of banter. But I understand what you're saying there. Potter in. What else do we have here? Yes, Bobby, when I say true Chelsea fans, I mean hardcore fans. Anything serious to get here. And this brother here says his name is Nebo. Good day, coach. First time here. Welcome, Nebo. Express yourself, just keep it civil. That's all we ask of you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. I felt like Potter would actually beat Real Madrid had they stayed. Yeah, you never know. Now the question will linger. Anything else? Says Justin, Atletico Madrid interested in Lukaku could be used to get Felix. We won, but at what cost? Yeah. I don't think even at that, I don't think Felix will come cheap. Nagelsmann is top 2. Yeah, he's a top manager. I see him. I think he's proven that he can hold his own against even the most experienced managers. What about Tite? Who exactly? I don't know. I don't know who that is. What else do we have quickly? I think I'm running out of time here. We have to round off as soon as possible. Question for the panel: If say Pep was an ex-manager of Tottenham, would you say no to hire him? If no, here's the thing: it's simple. Even though I know where you're coming from, if Pep after Bayern joined, joined Tottenham as the manager, or even after Man City joins Tottenham as their manager, and in the next 2 years we'll start looking for a new manager, I don't think Chelsea fans will complain. They'll say take him, which was why Bobby says your pedigree, what you've won, things you've won, they do come into play when deciding that. If Pochettino was Pep, you'd hear, I'm sure 90% of Chelsea fans will say get him. Yeah. So, but Poch, the fact that he didn't win anything at Sports, That's a real concern for them. And some people calling him a bottler. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, I think that's it. Anybody else want to say anything with regards to the possibility of Nagelsmann becoming the next Chelsea manager? If not, let's talk about what we're looking on the screen here. Transfer update: Atletico Madrid. Evaluates Romelu Lukaku at 40 million euros, and the Spanish club is keen on the Belgian. Chelsea could use Romelu Lukaku as part of the deal, in addition to exchanging player to sign João Felix, who is valued at 80 million. Okay, who's saying this? From the shed end. Okay, Roger, let me start with you since I'm still with you. What do you make of this?
Which one's that, sir? Oh, Atletico Madrid evaluate Romelu. Wow.
You want it to be true, but you know it's not. I don't think you believe it, but go ahead.
Wow. I mean, listen, if we can sell him for £5.22p, we should.
You take it.
I mean, it all depends on the new coach coming in, whatever he wants to do. I can't see realistically Lukaku returning to the bridge, especially after what he said.
He will come back. The question is, what do we do with him?
No,
because
exactly.
Inter have said,
yes, no. I mean,
he comes back. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, staying. What do the owners or / executives do with him? Because he's toxic. He's very toxic, and he hasn't had a great season. He's been injury prone. He's overweight. He doesn't seem motivated. How old is he now? He's 31 or so, give or take.
Let me check for you, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's say Nagelsmann, for argument's sake, is our new manager. Would he like him? I doubt it. I can't see him succeeding based on his on-field and especially his off-field performance. I think he's toxic in the locker room. He's a bad apple. I don't
He's
see
still
him as
29.
Is he really? He's under 30. Okay. I don't see him as being the consummate team professional. I think he's shown his true colors, and he never wanted to return back. So, you know what? It's obvious it's a write-off. We're going to lose money. So if we can sell him for whatever amount, then it's in our best interest. I would assume. I can't see any new manager coming in and seeing otherwise. Perhaps they can. Perhaps they can get the best out of him, and he could have a very productive and elongated career with us. I personally don't see that transpiring.
I don't see that happening either. I'll get Bobby started, and if Aurora has anything to say, go ahead, Bobby.
I've got something controversial to throw into the mix.
I'm right here.
By the way, Roger.
Okay, let Bobby drop. Okay.
100%, I agree with what you're saying, but Nagelsmann did something really interesting at Bayern Munich. He got the best out of people like Choupo-Moting, who is 38, and nobody else really seemed to be able to get a tune out of him. And hang on, someone's at my front door. I'll have to get back to you.
Sure. No, I mean that's a good point actually, because normally people saw him being productive, and he did.
So my thing with Nagelsmann, I mean, from the little that I know about him and a couple of games I've watched, right? I don't think anyone can argue about his tactical awareness, his tactical side of the game.
Sure.
For me, I am looking more at other areas in terms of his personality as and how that would play into him being in England, all of the pressure of even just the media. Every time he comes in, they're going to bomb him with lots and lots of. You won't get that in Germany. Him being a young fellow, that might play into the way he will handle the team. I don't know. I just see that. Other than that, I think he's perfect. For Chelsea right now. I just hope that he can keep that side of himself in check and tight, because the fans are going to be all over, and they're going to look for, the media is going to look for any little detail. Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted someone a bit more mature in terms of age, not mature in terms of the game, but mature in terms of age. I don't know, but that's just my personal opinion. But
sorry, I'm back now. I had a delivery, so can I rock on?
Did you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Have you? Is it IBZ? I've forgotten who's talking now.
Yeah, I
No.
was the one talking, but I was just saying that did they send you the confirmation letter that who's got and the winner is? Can you tell us?
Well, what I can say is I was pointing out the pros and cons, as I see it, of Nagelsmann, and I mentioned how he got the best out of Choupo-Moting, and who knows, if he suddenly decides he fancies using Lukaku, which I very much doubt. Lukaku is not mobile enough for the way he plays. It would be interesting, and it will certainly save the ownership a lot of money if you could get a tune out of him. Trouble is, Lukaku has so alienated himself from the fans that is the last thing you need. He's toxic. He's going to bring poison to the fan base and therefore the dressing room. So he's a no-go. But the thing I do worry about with Nagelsmann is, in and around his age, is temperament. We all know in the Premier League, they wind you up. The journalists wind you up, and they're very anti-Chelsea. The officials wind you up, and they're very anti-Chelsea. Sorry?
Bobby, sorry to cut you. Do you know that you're just repeating everything I just said while you were away?
Oh, okay. Okay, well, great minds think alike, eh? But how's he going to deal with that? The best, most mature elite managers have been affected. Tuchel, Mourinho, they get to you, especially if you're at the top, and especially if you're Chelsea. So that side of things, and he's young, and being young, there's gonna be a time he's going to do something silly. He might, as long as he doesn't smack someone in the mouth. He's going to do something silly. He might say something, as Mourinho often did, or he might react in a type of way, which might get him carded or so on. So that side of things is going to be really interesting to see how he manages.
Yeah, Roro, you have anything to add to it?
I mean, that's basically what I was talking about. I talked about his age, his temperament.
Do you know he's actually played more league games than Enrique himself?
Yeah. But England is a different ball game. Coming to England, like Bobby just said, even the best of managers have come here, and the media would eat you raw. They're not gonna. I mean, everything you do is gonna be under scrutiny. Even the things happening in your private life is gonna be
even
under
Pep
scrutiny.
and Klopp, they wind them up sometimes, don't they? So
yes, there's gonna be. I mean, it is that aspect. Like I said, his tactical awareness, his tactical know-how in the game, that is definitely not in doubt. I mean, it's there for everyone to see. But when they start with you, they start with his girlfriend. He does one silly thing. He goes out one night. All of that is going to be under scrutiny. He won't get that in Germany, but here, that is the aspect to which I am scared of, honestly.
And yeah, just quickly, just give me 1 second. Omukara is asking, is Enrique no longer in the running to be Chelsea's new coach? No, that's what we've been told, and we're not sure. No way to clarify if that's in fact the case. If I tap
Media speculation.
Lukaku as Lukaku, will anyone here feel offended? We're not into name calling. Let me just put it that way. But you're a gentleman, and good thing you ask. We at one point it was like saying his name is a curse name because he angered the fan base. Good morning to you too, Chelsea old boy. Anything else here? Just quickly. I'll come back to you in a bit. Let me see. And I have to address here. This says, I have a gut feeling that Lukaku will be a CFC player next season. It's very, very possible. Bobby the GOAT. And boom, we have hello people. Christian David, always nice to see you, brother. Much love to you. And thank you once again for becoming a member just 2 days ago or so. Question for Roger. Roger, you can. I'll leave this question once Aurora is done speaking. You can answer the question. When I come back, I think we can call it a day. Go ahead, Aurora. Sorry for cutting you off.
Sorry, Coach. Chelsea old boy. That's another top geezer. You've got them all in the chat today. That's a top man.
Yeah, go ahead, Aurora.
Okay,
go ahead with what you were saying.
Yes. So for me, I mean, I think we've basically tried everything. I mean, even with Lukaku coming back, I just think we should just do it with all of that drama. We definitely don't need that. But of course, he has to come back. You know, everything just going on. I just want them to make up because all of these coaches that we've been hearing about, Nagelsmann, Enrique, they are all up there. So for me, it's their tactical know-how is not in doubt for Enrique or Nagelsmann, but like I said, it's the other aspect of the English game, the aspect where the media, the scrutiny, is whoever that can cope with that, because all of the Vivels and the rest, they can, look at all of their stats and look at the numbers, and numbers might add up, but you can't foresee all the other aspects of it. Numbers you can look at and say, yeah, impressive. This player has done this, or he has made all of his statistics and all of that. But the English side of the game, that media scrutiny, that's what I fear for the coaches, but like I said, at the end of the day, any of them for me would just do, honestly. Any of them. But for preference, I would have preferred Enrique, but so good.
Yeah, a lot of Chelsea fans want that. Roger, here's a question for you. Please, can you knock it out so we can call it a day? It's this question for Roger. Lukaku's toxicity, that's one word I hate trying to pronounce always. Toxicity and his weight. Why are Chelsea fighting relegation? Dusted and washed. If Lukaku was at Chelsea, you lots will lay all blames on him. Who do you blame now? Roger, do you want to answer that, or should I just move on from it?
Listen, so he's basically asking if Lukaku had played with us this year, who do we have blamed? I couldn't tell you. All I do know is that he doesn't want to be here, or at least he stated that he doesn't want to be here. He's not having a good season. He's overweight. He's injured. I'm just being honest. Would I want him to come back and succeed and be a prolific scorer for us? Of course I would, but that isn't the case. We're living in the real world, and I think it's best if we move on from him, unless he proves otherwise. But I don't see that happening based on his MO, his modus operandi. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. And Christian David, here's why the Nightbot is deleting your message, and probably might have timed you out. If you can hear me, Christian, I would delete your message and put you on timeout. Sorry about that. Is he younger than our captain? Which of the captains, the vice captain, which of them, Thiago Silva? How old is Nagelsmann again? I think 35, 36 or so.
Yeah.
35. Thiago Silva is 38.
He's a fetus. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This guy is young, and if we can get him, I'd like it. It's looking more like it's him. But from everything we're hearing out there, you cannot be sure what's going to happen. But JC, much love to you. Let's see what have the journalist in Germany was his own betrayed him. Yeah, leaking tactics and all that. That may well have been the case. They let him go. The kit man will have to again start ordering. I don't like you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but thank you for that picture. Lukaku and Chelsea need coach. Yeah, need each other right now, so to speak. But let's see what happens. We're not sure what's going to happen with regards to that. Let's see anything else. I haven't read much of Constantine Dan, Christian David. Christian, if you heard what I said, if you use more than 3 emojis, the robot that is policing the chat, it will time you out. Cannot wait for Wednesday. Should be interesting. Interesting indeed. If we lose that one again, I'm going to stop watching and get someone else to be hosting the show. I will be at the bridge early. Okay, I hope we can get a video from you, a live video from you once you're at the bridge. It would be glad to see that. Coach, what do you think about what Jobber said? He's truthful. He spoke his mind. But to me, I think he didn't care about being cautious with what he's saying. He didn't care about how that could affect his relationship with the club. But he's a legend. It's as simple as that. And he's spoken his mind. People should stop talking about Lukaku being a poison. It is the poison that made Chelsea so bad this season. He was still your highest goal scorer last season. Really. Other players are toxic. It's okay. But here's the thing. He made it worse for himself. It's as simple as that. But if he comes in and the next manager says he wants him, who am I to blow against the wind? We can't change that. Chimera, we need a number 9. Not having one cost us this season. That's a valid argument too. I wanted Enrique too, but I don't mind Nagelsmann. It has to be between these two. That company and Poch stuff should be aired out. I don't believe in that the company rumors. I think for me it's absolute nonsense. Let's see what we do here. Anything else? I cannot wait for Wednesday. Should be interesting. I've read that one too. Since Silva is a proper chess. He is deep down. And he's won quite a lot. Then when he decides to speak his mind, he doesn't care what to think. It says, Coach, let me host them. Can you? Okay, then reach me via Twitter so we'll talk. I will. Chelsea losses. No, cannot stomach another woeful performance. Go ahead. You were saying something.
I was just saying Thiago Silva has earned the right to speak his mind, really.
Yeah.
And he doesn't speak his mind offensively. He does it objectively.
Yeah. If there's something to learn from it if you pay attention. Jobber said the truth. Yep, he did. But I think the way he said it, I wouldn't have gone to the extent of comparing the owners. I would have just done it like JT says. We should be doing better right now, something like that. But that really means to me he didn't care whether he has a good relationship with the new owners or not. But that's why the way we move on from it. He's earned the right to speak the truth about Chelsea too. The only relationship risk is with the new ownership. Exactly. Never with the fans. King Didi, yeah, that was exactly what I said. Will always be a legend. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. Take care, everyone. You too, Constantine Dante. Silva is the truth. Yep. Said the truth. He did say the truth. Does Carabao just drinks? I'm not reading that one. I think I'm done. We've come to the natural end of the show today. Thank you so much, guys, for finding the time to join the show. I think it's been an excellent discussion. We will still continue. We'll look at what's going on out there, and if we see anything new, any new developments, we'll get topics out of them and have a good conversation with regards to that. Coach, we need a video on the players that need to be asked this summer. I think that have changed, so maybe we should do that again. They can reuse. Stop, please. Take care to you too, Chris and David. Thanks to Bobby. Thanks to Aurora. Aurora, you should be coming onto the panel more often whenever time allows, bro. I appreciate you finding the time to be on the panel with us. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And Bobby, thank you so much. Roger Pop, thank you. Thank you to Christian David. Thank you to Glenn. Thank you to Chimera. Thank you to the Beautiful Game, Constantine, Dante, Vivel. Is it 352? And I say 353, and he picked up on it. 343 Dilemma. Always nice to see you, brother. Big up to everyone at Kimso, to everyone in the chat. If I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Take care, everyone.